Declarations for the second race close in 5 minutes. Declarations for the second race are now closed. Can we have horses to the paddock for the first race, please? That's horses to the paddock for the first race.
Mollington, where the track place hosts the club meet on its traditional slot, Grand National Saturday. So I hope viewers at home are going to stay tuned to all the point-to-point action throughout the afternoon, have Aintree on the background and focus on the really good stuff. I'm fortunate, as always, to be joined by my partner in crime, Sam Davis-Thomas. Sam, great to see you here today, and we're in slightly more luxurious surroundings than we're used to.
Yeah, I feel like I've made it actually. Sat next to you in a nice, got heating on. The rain was just about to start, but I think it's cooled off now, so we're all right. But yeah, it's lovely to be here again. Mollington's a great track. I've had a walk of the course. It's in great nick. They've done a great job for what they can with the dry conditions recently, last few days. And yeah, some good racing. We've got a few runners. The second race looks really interesting, the 4-year-old race. We've got a few declarations already, and there's a few in the first race already.
I mean, you're saying it's in great nick. What does great nick mean? What are you giving the ground as?
Straight, but I think it's safe ground, it's good ground, and I think it's very fair. They've done as good as they could do.
Yeah, I had a walk around with a stick, and I completely agree with Sam. I think that fair play to Fred Hutspeed, Tom, Tony Ellis, James Pritchard, and all the guys that work so hard to put this fixture on. I think they've done a fantastic job with conditions they are, and as it stands right now, we look fairly set fair. A few dark clouds rumbling around, but I think we've set fair for a good afternoon. Sam, before we start doing a bit of analysis, why don't you kick us off with the runners and riders for those people at home who are just joining us?
Yeah, no problem. So the first race, we've got 6 runners. We've got horse number 1, and that's Bingo Star, and that's ridden by James King, and he wears cheek pieces. We've got horse number 2, and that's Blake Rigg, ridden by Miss Chloe Emsley, and that horse wears a tongue strap. We've got horse number 3, Fear Jaguan, ridden by Bradley Gibbs, and that horse wears a tongue strap. Horse number 4 is Graston, ridden by Miss Amber Jackson Fennell, and this horse wears a tongue strap and cheek pieces. And with horse number 5 is How to Get Away, Dale Peters, and this horse wears a hood. And horse number 7 is Locken, ridden by Miss Gina Andrews, and this horse wears a hood and a tongue strap, and actually has a change of colours, which is green, black cross belts, black armlets, and a green cap. There's a £3 penalty for 2 horses in the race, and that's horse number 1, Bingo Star, and that's number 5, How to Get Away. So those 2 horses carry 12 stone 3. So it looks a good race, Charlie.
Really quality race to kick us off. And just before we go forward with that, just if you're watching at home, everyone knows how difficult a time we've had with COVID, and point-to-points in one of the new things that's come out of this is this live streaming, which costs a few quid for the point-to-points are put on. So if you enjoy what's going on and you want to support point-to-pointing and help with its continuing future, please go to justgiving.com, search for Mollington Races and donate what you can to keep this wonderful sport up and running. Like you say, Sam, a really good race over the 2.5 mile trip as well, which adds another dimension to it, and 6 runners and 6 quality contestants really. So why don't we work our way down the field? In fact, before we start that, just looking in as the jockeys come into the paddock, David Jeffries deserves huge thanks for once again letting the Mollington be used as a racetrack, and we've got an incredibly swanky new paddock this year that looks like an enormous outdoor school, which adds another dimension, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's different. It's something we've never seen before, really. I don't think it's happened anywhere before, and yeah, it makes a mess. They need a good poo picker on track, I'd say, to keep it all tidy, otherwise he might get a bit upset.
I'm sure Shona will have someone in line for that role, as organised as she is, making sure all this event goes ahead as smoothly as possible. So yeah, we start off Bingo Star.
Yeah, Bingo Star, we watched him run at Guilsborough in this rain softened ground actually, and he was beat by Diplomat Savola, 18 lengths. I think this shorter trip does suit him, and also going this way round suits him as well. So I think he can play a part and hopefully give Stuart Morris a winner. And I think James King rides him as well, so that's a handy jockey booking for him.
Will he be quite good enough?
Depends if How to Get Away really is the horse for me. If he's good enough to take him on and what sort of going day he's on. He also got beat last time by Castle Trump, which is a very good horse on his day, but he's also in and out. So if he can perform to his best, then I think Bingo Star's probably going to come up against it. But everything's in his favour, so he'd have no excuses today.
A bit like you, an in-and-out performer, potentially.
Yeah, that's been said before, and it'll be said again, I'm sure.
Blake Rigg, Stuart Payne, Chloe Emsley.
Yeah, ex-Nicky Richards horse. He's rated 100 on the rules. That's probably going to leave him coming up a bit short. He's an 11-year-old now, but he wasn't disgraced 16 lengths behind Shamron last time. He obviously stays further than this, so this kind of stiff track over 2.5 might suit him. And yeah, he's a first-season pointer, and he's bound to improve on what he's done so far.
Presenting as well, you'd imagine the nicer ground here than at Buckfastleigh would suit him. Shamron, though, there is another in-and-out performer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So just see what he's going. I hope he gives Chloe a good ride. I see Chloe's had a few rides recently and she's doing well, so hopefully he can run well for her.
Fear Jaguar for Bradley Gibbs.
Yeah, it's a yard that you can't dismiss really. He's a progressive horse. I reckon I saw him win his maiden round here, I think, didn't we, last year maybe? And he was good, and yeah, he was beat fair and square by Late Night Fumble last time, but I think they think a real lot of that horse, so he's going to be on the shortlist definitely.
I think just chucking it out there, Bradley had a couple get turned over that day at Kingston Blount, and I read somewhere that there were a couple of them scoped dirty afterwards, that he wasn't quite happy with the form of some of his team at that stage. Over that now, and Fear Jaguar, I think, is a must for the shortlist.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Graston for Stephen Allen, Amber Jackson Fenelon. Be outclassed in this.
Yeah, I think so. We see him run. He runs around here a lot. It's his first run of the season, but yeah, I think he's probably best watched for today.
And How to Get Away, you've touched on. I mean, a really progressive horse. I think the defeat to Castle Trump was slightly below par last time, but again, as you said, Castle Trump has the look of a very progressive first season pointer.
Yeah, he does. I watched How to Get Away win at Horse Heath, and he sprinted clear from the field, and he beat a good field, and he was really quite impressive. So if he can bring that A game today, I think it'd be really hard to beat, to be honest.
That was the day he beat the horse of Mammoth, was that in there? Cap Royale?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a really, really warm point at Horse Heath.
They've gone on, and obviously, David Kemp's also in great form. He's actually putting a gallop after, I think, probably about 25 years of training, so it seems to be working well for him.
I mean, why do you think it took him so long to come around to that decision?
He's from Norfolk, they're tight, aren't they?
Money well spent then for the David Kemp team. Horses on fire, and Sam Davis-Thomas puts it down to actually using a gallop. Interesting. Locken completes this field. Ex-Dan Skelton in, mate.
Yeah, he's a quirky character, but he's done well for the yard. I've known him from the Dan Skelton times. He looked to me at Sheffield that he probably should have gone and won the race. He didn't really follow it up, so I think the shorter trip we'll see him in good stead as well. That was also 2.5, but it was on softened ground. So
I was just going to retract.
I'm retracting. I think this better ground will suit him. I think if Gina can get a lead for as long as possible, I don't know how she tends to ride him, but if she can get a lead for as long as possible, then hopefully he can run well.
What about the track? Will that suit him, this stiff nature of the track?
He probably wanted a sharper track, but as I say, 2.5 again. I think he's probably going to be up against it with How to Get Away. But he's definitely going to put his showing on. You can't write off horses from yards like Tom Ellis or Bradley Gibbs. So.
No, not at all. I mean, I just thought with Locken, it's a case of coming here because of the intermediate trip, almost regardless of track, because there's not that many options to go over this sort of distance for horses in these sort of conditions races. Yeah,
but he's won 2 races now, so we've got to give him a go.
Easy lead would be important to him, not get taken on. Gina, fantastic, just a fantastic rider, full stop, but from the front I would have thought she'd like to get an unharried time and keep filling him up for that final pull to the finish here.
Yeah, definitely, and you forget, I walk the course, you forget how stiff it is from the bend to the line, so and I think looking at the rest of them, Bradley Gibbs doesn't tend to ride his horses too far off the pace, and also Bingo Star is always quite handy, so she might have a bit of a battle for the lead.
It's one of these, again, we talk about it a lot though, he's if you're riding to beat him, you're going to be wary of making sure he doesn't have too much of an easy time of it in front, but also you don't want to negate your own chances by being the one that applies the pressure early.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to, as you say, you don't want to leave him out in front, but if you take him on, then he could be keen, and you keep trying to take him on as well, then you're going to get yourself into a battle.
So, as the scales are coming through to the commentator, you don't get this on ITV Racing.
Best turned out in race 1 in one Bingo Star, owned by Stuart Morris.
That was a call for the best turned out, and that goes to horse number 1, Bingo Star.
Supposedly turned out by Stuart Morris. I find that hard to believe.
He might have come on. He's only got 1 runner, so he might have come on his own. And he's a dab hand at the old Platin, I've heard. So
very nice for him. A man of many talents, Stuart Morris, no doubt about that. So summarising this race then, Sam, a really interesting contest. Your tipping was on fire the last time we were together. I mean, it really was outstanding. Tom Segal, price-wise, actually messaged me to say that he was slightly nervous about his future with the Racing Post, with the way you were going at it. So start us off with a winner then.
Well, I'm going to go safe then to start with. I hope it's safe anyway, and I'm going to stick with How to Get Away. I think he's probably got the most progress to make, from what he's done already, and that run behind Castle Trump, although he was well beat, I think that was a good run because I do think Castle Trump on his day is a very good horse. What
Yeah.
about yourself? What, are you going to follow me in or?
I mean, it's tricky. I mean, I came down on 2 Fear Jaguar and How to Get Away, and probably the fact that you're siding with How to Get Away is enough to kind of sway me towards Fear Jaguar. And so Bradley Gibbs, I'm going to again look to him to bounce back a bit like How to Get Away from a slightly below par run last time, and hope that Bradley's got him back in cherry ripe order again, and then Fear Jaguar for me.
You're probably going to be right, knowing my luck at the minute, my tipping, how that's gone. But yeah, it's a great contest to start the race, sponsored by Farrell. And Farrell actually an agricultural and turf machinery specialist covering the region from the East Midlands to the South Coast for John Deere. So thank you very much for their sponsors and for the rest of the sponsors of the day here today. But we've got 7 runners for the 4-year-old race next as well. So that'd be really interesting as well.
Yeah, pleasing to see as well. I mean, I think it's been well highlighted. Field sizes haven't been huge in recent times, so the fact there was 8 entries and we got a field of 7 is a real positive, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely it is. And I can't wait to get started. And we've got a good day's racing ahead of us.
And the Grand National, are you keeping half an eye on that? Or
I'll have it on my phone. Yeah, if we can get a bit of signal, we'll have a look and see what's what. Longhouse Poet.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I think the same, Richard. It really concerns me. I tell you what. And any second now as well. I like him. And just a quick snippet there. The horse we run the second is Any Second Now's half brother.
Oh, lovely, perfect. So fingers crossed. So does that mean if he wins, then it's a form boost for Any Second Now? Or?
Well, just a double up, isn't it? Sibling double. That's what we're looking for on Grand National Saturday. And as we can see on our monitors, the runners are filtering their way out into the track for this first race of the day, the Farrell North Warwickshire Club conditions race over 2.5 miles. And we hand over to the ever excellent Mike Croller.
Thanks, gents. Good afternoon, everybody. Great to be back here at Mollington for the first of our 2 fixtures this spring. It doesn't feel 11 months since we were last here, but I hope you're all well, and it's great to welcome crowds back to Mollington in 2022. We begin with the Farrell North Warwickshire Club conditions race, level 2 for penalty purposes, and it's over the shorter distance of 2.5 miles. And if I told you the last 3 winners of this race were Cheltenham Matty, Celtic Silver and Old Guard, it gives you an idea that this is a really excellent way of kicking off the Mollington season. 6 runners in this year's renewal, and the runners are coming along the horse walk to make the short distance to the 2.5 mile start. And the first one out onto the track is number 1, Bingo Star. James King is in the plate in light green with red stars, red sleeves with a red cap, with a light green star on that cap. Number 1, Bingo Star, one of 2 runners in the race with a £3 penalty. Followed down by Fear Jaguar, number 3 in pink, with a black hoop sleeves and a black cap. Bradley Gibbs is aboard Fear Jaguar. Going down then with the cheek piece, number 4, Graston, and Amber Jackson Fennel. Black and pink quarters for Graston, with black sleeves and pink spots on those sleeves. A quartered cap for Graston, making a 2022 debut. Then one of the fancied runners, How to Get Away, number 5 in yellow and brown quarters with hoop sleeves and a yellow and brown cap. Dale Peters is aboard number 5, How to Get Away. A colour change for number 7, Lochan. Lochan now sporting green colours with black cross belt, black armlets and a green cap. Gina Andrews, the hero of Aintree on Thursday, aboard number 7, Lochan. Blake Rigg is also on the course. Blake Rigg number 2 in red and yellow stripes, yellow sleeves and a hoop cap. Chloe Emsley takes the ride on number 2, Blake Rigg. 6 runners going to the 2.5 mile start for this Farrell North Warwickshire Club conditions race to kick us off today at Mollington. And Farrell are agricultural and turf machinery specialists covering the region from the East Midlands to the South Coast for John Deere. Their details are on page 10 of today's race card. On behalf of all the team here at Mollington, have a great day. 15 fences to jump in the first. All the fences are taken twice with the exception of 1. And the open ditches on the way round will be 4 and 12. On behalf of all the team, good luck if you're having a bet. We are at post time. I'm a long way from the betting ring and I can't see the boards, but a few moments ago, How to Get Away was around the even money mark with 2-1 Fear Jaguan, 3-1 Bingo Star, 5-2 Lochan, 6-1 Blake Rig, and 8-1 Graston. How to Get Away towards the head of the market in our opening race. Once again, Charlie Wadland is the starter at Mollington and he's doing final checks. The 2.5 mile start alongside the road between the two fences going away from us. So just under 2 circuits of the track in the opener. So last bets here, the starter is closing in on his steps and has flag in hand. Flags up, walking in. They're off, away and racing at Mollington in 2022 with the Farrell North Warwickshire Club Conditions race. 2.5 miles and 15 fences, and Fear Jaguan in the black coupe is prominent in the early stages alongside the red and yellow stripes of Blake Rig as they go over number 1. All 6 runners taking it without incident. The quarter colours of pink and black of Graston are close up as they make their way onto the far side for the first of 2 occasions, and more quarter colours of yellow and brown. How to Get Away also in the front rank as they move towards a trio of fences on the far side. 2 plain fences before the first ditch, and it's Fear Jaguan showing the way. 3 horses touching down in a run for second place, with Graston just about in second place to How to Get Away and Blake Rig. 2 lengths to the best turned out Bingo Star as they go towards number 3. And the colour change of Lochan in last position in the early stages under Gina Andrews, who took out the Aintree Fox Hunters only on Thursday. So they go towards the open ditch for the first of 2 occasions, and Fear Jaguan in front here by a length and a half going over it. 2 in second position Graston, Amber Jackson Fennell as they swing right-handed now towards the fence at the beginning of the descent. 2 lengths then to How to Get Away, Dale Peters showing in third to Blake Rig and Chloe Emsley. Bingo Star, a 5-time winner in points, in 5th position as they go towards this fence on the turn back towards us, and Lochan 4 lengths detached at the rear end of the field as they make their way on the downland run towards the 2 fences in the Mollington home straight. Those 2 fences will bring them up towards the judge, and up front it is Fear Jaguan, a 3-time winner in points, a winner over 2.5 miles at Chaddesley Corbett earlier in the season when beating 9 rivals. In front Fear Jaguan by just over a length. 2 in second position Graston as they make the run towards the first of the 2 fences in this line. This is the Clare Hart Equine fence. Crossing in third position, How to Get Away, the top rated horse in the field at 117, twice a winner at Horse Heath, How to Get Away this season. This will be the last next time round. It's the Fox Denton Fruit Gins fence, and Fear Jaguan towards the left and Graston towards the right. Graston sporting sheepskin cheek pieces, and they have 1 circuit of the track left to go. 2 or 3 lengths in front then to How to Get Away. Dale Peters has ridden 3 winners round here in recent seasons alongside Blake Rig, who was second to Molyneux, the current joint champion horse, earlier in the season. A short run to the first fence off this bend. It's fence number 8. And coming towards it, it's Fear Jaguan out in front. Over safely to Graston on the outside of How to Get Away, Bingo Star. Now Blake Rig has dropped back to 5th position, and Lochan is slowly catching up as they go towards the first fence on the next circuit. It's the Godfrey Painter 9th. Fear Jaguan, an attacking jump at the 9th, jumped it well. leads by just over a length. 2 in second position, Graston, having a first start this season on the outside of How to Get Away, a 4-time winner in points, to Bingo Star, who's close up in green and red colours on the inside of Blake Rigg. And Gina and Lochan still in close attendance, only 7 lengths off the leader as they go towards the first of 3 down the far side. Gina, who took this race with Celtic Silver a few years ago, and Lochan now starting to make a way through the field in green and black as they go towards the right hassle fence midway down the far side. 5 fences left to take at this point, and it's Fear Jaguar by 2 to 3 lengths. How to Get Away in second position with Bingo Star in third. Graston has dropped back to fourth as they go towards the open ditch for the second and final time. So over 4 out, Fear Jaguar, leading by just over a length to How to Get Away, who's choke out in second place. 2 lengths to Bingo Star in third. Blake Rigg is pushed along. Lochan is trying to get closer in green, and they've moved on from Graston as they go towards the third last fence. Fear Jaguar at the third last, over in front to How to Get Away, pressing to the outer. 3 lengths in front then to Bingo Star, and then Lochan in the colour change of green and black as they move down the hill towards the final set of 2 fences and the Mollington Climb in this Farrell North Warwickshire Club conditions race. Fear Jaguar's been on the sharp end all the way, but don't look behind because How to Get Away is in the slipstream as they come towards the second last. Fear Jaguar on the left, on the right How to Get Away as they come towards the second last. Fear Jaguar jumping out to the right but still in front. How to Get Away in second, pressed in behind Lochan in third and Bingo Star in fourth as they go towards the 15th and final fence. Fear Jaguar coming towards the last is over safely. How to Get Away has a few lengths to find as they go up the rise, and Fear Jaguar, who's been up there from Flagfall under Bradley Gibbs, being pushed out towards the line. Fear Jaguar staying on best up the Mollington Hill. It is Fear Jaguar to a tired How to Get Away, and then after those Lochan running on, and they're a few lengths in front over Blake Rigg, Bingo Star and Graston.
So, a fantastic race to kick the day off then, Sam, and probably as to be expected, my tip, Fear Jaguar runs them ragged. Excellent front running ride from Bradley Gibbs, and How to Get Away got onto his tail, turning in, but it looked to me like the right was on the wall from the back of the second last, and that was an impressive performance.
Yeah, great ride to be honest. He dictated it from the front.
Judge. 2 lengths, over.
Can you repeat that, please? Here are the results for the first race, first past the post in the following order. First, number 3, second, number 5, third, number 7, fourth, number 2. Distances were 8 lengths and 2 lengths in a time of 5:17.
Sorry about that. A couple of technical issues with sorting out the distances and the results. So, Sam, do you want to, for the people at home on the live stream, the official distances and the time of the first race were?
Yeah, so first horse was number 3, second horse number 5, third horse number 7, fourth horse number 2, and the distances were 8 lengths and 2 lengths in a time of 5:17.
Excellent performance by Fear Jaguar. Great front running ride, got the fraction spot on. I thought he jumped a little bit sort of hesitantly early on, but really warmed to his task. And like I say, I thought he saw this out really well. Really progressive horse, likeable horse.
Yeah, it's a nice horse. He ran straight through the line, didn't he? Finished his race really well. And as we said before, Bradley, that's normally how he tends to ride his horses. And yeah, he was brilliant on that, to be fair. I thought how to get away, maybe I would probably step him back up in trip, maybe. But apart from that, I think it was a fair race, and Bradley Gibbs, yeah, he great ride.
Fear Jaguar was the only one that really galloped through the line, though. They finished tired and behind. Locke and Gina Andrews, different tactics, crept away. He still didn't really see it out, though. I mean, he was going up and down the spot from the back of the last, and to me, he's a short runner. And like you say, how to get away, I thought was a bit disappointing, if I'm honest. I don't think he had a lot of excuses. He had every chance and was beat by a better horse on the day. And Fear Jaguar is one that I think he's only a 7-year-old now. I don't see why, if he remains point to point, and he couldn't take pretty high rank next year.
Yeah, I completely agree. And would he have to run an intermediate to qualify for the intermediate final?
Yes, he would actually, because like last year there was a thing about this where you only had to run in a conditions race. You also qualify through that. That rule is no longer the case. They have to finish first or second in an intermediate to qualify for the final at Cheltenham, which is shaping up to be a really good race. There's been quite a few progressive horses this year, and that could be an exciting contest at the Hunter Chase evening at Cheltenham.
I completely agree, and that's horses away, horses away. Thank you. But no, I completely agree. Yeah, it could be a great race. It's got some good progressive horses come through the ranks, and it'd be a good evening. That
you got to love this, haven't you? Multitasking. So you're an announcer. I mean, you're a man of many talents. I've said it before, and following on with that theme, we've now got to leave the studio. Got to go and do a presentation. See if we can get a couple of words with Bradley Gibbs about the state of the ground and potential plans for Fear Jaguar.
What I'll do first is I will just, while you go out and do the presentation, I'll run through the runners and riders for the second race then.
Perfect.
Riders for the Tatterstall's Cheltenham 4 and 5-year-old maiden race, and this is ran over 2 mile 4 once again. Horse number 1, by order of the court, ridden by Dale Peters, and this horse carries 11 stone 4. Horse number 2, Dalgany Bobby Blue, ridden by James King, and this horse also carries 11 stone 4. Horse number 3, Exmoor Getaway, ridden by Tristan Durrell. This horse carries 12 stone. Horse number 5, Have You Got My Money, ridden by Gina Andrews, and this horse carries 11 stone 4. Horse number 6 is Look Out to Sea, ridden by James Jevons, and this horse carries 12 stone. Horse number 7, Purple Emperor, ridden by Izzy Marshall. This horse carries 11 stone 4. And horse number 8, finally, Vendant. This is ridden by Luke Scott, and this horse carries 11 stone 4. None of these horses wear anything, and there are no colour changes. 7 runners. Can we have horses to the paddock for the second race, please?
2.
We come to the presentation for our first race, the Farrell North Warwickshire Club Conditions Race. Fantastic, kindly sponsored again. And if we welcome Julian Sheriff, the winning owner of Fear Jaguar, please. These and these. So we're just going to hold up and then get a picture in the middle. And of course, last but by no means least, the winning rider, Bradley Gibbs. After the first race, we're just going to get a couple of quick words with winning rider Bradley Gibbs. Bradley disappointed on his last start at Kingston, but I think you'd said in the preview that he'd scoped dirty or something after the race, bounced right back to form here.
Yeah, he ran at Kingston. He got very hot and he really wound up in the box on the way, and he come back after Kingston and he was sick as a dog after it, and it's taken me a month to get him back right now, but thank God we track Ross in the week and he's been back to himself at home like a lunatic. So coming here today we were fairly confident, knowing that he was back right and he'd put up a good show like he did, you know. And I think that's him. He is a fair animal, you know.
You say about him being a lunatic at home. Is he difficult to handle?
Oh, he is, yeah. He's only small, but he got his own way about things, and you turn at the bottom of the gallop and he will just fly leap and just bolt, and you know, you're just a passenger on him.
Do you ride him yourself every day?
Yeah, nobody else rides him.
And like, he is a talented performer though. I mean, I presume he's going to stay pointing next season. You'd imagine he could go quite a long way.
Yeah, well, I got the Dunraven Bowl in mind for him. Obviously he's a Welsh qualified horse.
Chepstow, how far away is that?
That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks yesterday. So I got that in mind for him, so touch wood, as long as he comes out of today, fine. I think that's where I might go with him.
And anything else in mind from Cheltenham, Hunter Chase evening, anything for him there?
Well, I was thinking about the intermediate final, but I think the Dunraven Bowl is just only a couple of days before, so look, there's two options. He'll either go to Cheltenham, very good job, good to soft down the hill, good across the top with a nice cut in it, done a very, very good job.
And have you rides later on this afternoon?
Yeah, we got one in the restricted, who the man runs in the restricted.
Fancied again?
Hopefully, touch wood.
Well, very well done with the first, and good luck later in the afternoon. Your winning rider, Bradley Gibbs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
2, 1, 1.
So for the viewers at home, I'm just going to run through the runners and riders again for the second race, which is the 4 and 5 year old maiden race, ran over 2 mile 4. Horse number 1, By Order of Court, ridden by Dale Peters, carrying 11 stone 4. Horse number 2, Dalgany Bobby Blue, ridden by James King, carrying 11 stone 4. Horse number 3, Exmoor Getaway, ridden by Tristan Durrell, carrying 12 stone. Horse number 5, Have You Got My Money, ridden by Miss Gina Andrews, carrying 11 stone 4. Horse number 6, Look Out to Sea, ridden by James Jevons, carrying 12 stone. Horse number 7, Purple Emperor, ridden by Izzy Marshall, carrying 11 stone 4. And horse number 8, Vendant, ridden by Luke Scott, carrying 11 stone 4.
Second race of the day then, Sam, the Tats Cheltenham 4 and 5 year old maiden 2.5 mile. We're very grateful to Tats Cheltenham for their continued support of British point to pointing, and this is a really good looking contest. A lot of these races have been plagued by a lack of runners in recent weeks, and we've got 7 runners from the 8 entries and some hopefully talented young prospects amongst them.
Yeah, it's great to see to have 7 of the 8 declared for today, and as you said, it gives a bit more depth to the race, and hopefully going forward it might support the sales ring after that as well. And yeah, as you say, there's some nice horses in here from some top yards that I'm sure will be ready, but as these are all unraced horses, so you don't really know what you're going to get till you see them on the track.
Yeah, I think the frustration is when you've only got 3 runners, it is you don't need much to go wrong for it to almost become a non-contest, so at least with this and with these young horses, it's often helpful to them to have a few more horses around to help carry them along. And like I say, a 7-runner field around this track should give us far more sort of meat to the substance of the race, rather than a 3-runner race where it can become quite a tactical affair.
Yeah, and especially if you lose one and you maybe even lose 2 and 1 finishes, how do you go forward with that? So yeah, no, it's good. It's good we've got a bit of depth, and as I say, some nice horses that look like they've got some nice pedigrees behind them as well.
Yeah, so I mean, look, form is non-existent, but let's run down through them, and we start with by order of the court for Dale Peters.
Yeah, he was 20,000 as a store. Dale's had a few young horses go through the ring before. He's a half brother to Jumps with a Caliga Beauty. Court Cave. What can you tell me?
I mean, Court Cave often they come in all shapes and sizes, but by almost across the board, they all like decent ground. So I would imagine the prevailing good ground conditions should be right up his street. I'm trying to think of the horse a few years ago that Dale had that he bought off Chris Bealby for about 500 quid, and it was a lunatic of a young horse, and it won round Dingley and then got sold to Ben Paulin and became quite a decent performer under rules. You remember the name of it or not?
Oh, I do. I'll have a think.
So anyway, but I mean, Dale is well able, he's a very talented handler, and he's well able to get these young horses ready. So by order of the court, he was an expensive enough store to suggest that he has some physical quality, and he has to be, without being able to see the paddock, which is a long way away from this van, it's difficult to get a feel for what sort of physical types they are and who's the pick of the paddock, but he's one that would have to be respected.
Yeah, definitely. The van has its highs and lows, and I think unfortunately we can't actually have a look at these horses in the paddock. We can only see them on the screen, so we can't get a real look of them. But I can't see anything, acting. Well, as I say that, I think that's Dale's acting up there. But as I say that, yeah. So I'll keep my mouth shut. But no, it's interesting seeing. Have a good look at these horses around the paddock. See how they're taking it all in. And you can go from there. Really get a good vibe of how they're feeling as the jockeys just get on now. This is an interesting time as well.
Yeah, Dalgany Bobby Blue, which comes from our own yard. He's a homebred by Rachel and Charlie Wilson. He actually came to us to be broken in as a 2-year-old, and he's been coming back for periods of education ever since. And Rach, just after Christmas, came up with the idea about whether we could give him a run to point, and Francesca and I were thrilled to do that. And like I said before, his pedigree, he's a half brother to Any Second Now, which I'm sure National Hunt fans will be well aware of. He's strongly fancied for today's Grand National, and we thought it was quite interesting to see if he could make his debut on the same day as the National, and he's doing so. He's a gorgeous big scopy horse by Blue Brazil, who's all the rage at the moment, and whatever he does today, he's going to improve plenty, and I think he's a name for the notebook, irrespective of win, lose or draw today, and I'd imagine he's going to end up at Dan Skelton's, and he's got a big future ahead of him.
Yeah, it's great for Rach and the family as well. Rach is a massive supporter. She's had some lovely horses over the years as well, and hopefully, she can keep that coming through the Dalgany horses. It's great that she's got another one on the point-to-point field as well.
Definitely. Exmoor Getaway, Fred Hutsby.
What can you tell me about it? Do you know anything about it?
Fred, to be honest, he doesn't. We don't see him too much, so I don't know what goes on. I mean,
has it been broken in?
I think recently. So as in, it'll be an interesting job in the paddock. But look, he's been away plenty to do lots of schooling as well. I'd imagine he knows his job. I mean, he's a half brother to a couple of winners. Jeremy Central, who Tom Malone has, that's been winning a couple of point-to-points down in the West Country this year, and he's by Getaway, decent sire, pedigree is okay. Again, if he takes to this, he has the pedigree to make up into a reasonable performer.
Good. Well, fingers crossed for Fred. He's got two runners here, so fingers crossed one of them can run well for him as well. Being Clark of the course as well. It'd be nice for him to have a nice local winner. And
it certainly would, wouldn't it? Have you got my money for the Ellis team? You might know a bit more about him.
Yeah. All I know is he's a bit sharp. So I don't know how if Gina's on him in the paddock there now, probably. But yeah, he's on he'll be on his toes. He's a bit sharp, but he's a nice horse, big scopy horse. He's been away for a few days. I know Gina's going to try and switch him off and get him to finish his race and have a good experience really.
Just for the people at home, what do you mean by sharp? As in, you don't mean that you've got a risk of cutting yourself when you get up on him?
No, so I mean, anything around him, he's well aware of what's going on around him. So if there's a mistake in front, he's liable to, Gene can be on his toes. You don't really see it during the race, but even in the race, if a horse makes a mistake in front of him, he might just be one to back off.
Look out to see another one for the Hutsby team by Telescope. Again, a new sire, sort of not very many crops of racing age on the ground, and he has plenty of winners in his pedigree. Half brother does flat winners and jump winners. Again, it's just going to be a watching brief, isn't it? We'll see how he takes to this. And then turning over the page, a couple of interesting ones. Purple Empora for the Hill team, the most expensive store in this race, 36,000.
Yeah, no, I've had a look at him actually early. He's a massive horse, he's a nice big horse. So and Alan Hill, he prepares horses brilliantly. As we say, week in, week out, you can't write off one of Alan's. So I can see this horse running a nice race. But he's a big horse, 2.5 mile on good ground. They might get away from him a bit, but you don't know.
Well, he was taken out at Tabley last Sunday because of the quick conditions. So Connections must feel conditions here today are more preferable, and that you get the vibe certainly when I read the reports that Alan liked this horse a lot. And the one at the bottom, Vendont for the Western team.
Yeah, we can see him there on the picture there now, just going out onto the course now. He looks quite relaxed. He's a nice big, he's quite a compact horse actually, isn't he? But no, he looks settled to it, and he was only 5,000 as a store.
As a foal though, we have to check that out there. Yeah.
As a foal, sorry, so I got my information wrong. But yeah, no, Vendont, Tom Weston has a lot of success with these horses. He had a horse that was going to win the other day at Maysmore, and unfortunately the tack slipped, but that was going to be quite impressive.
Yeah, that was an impressive performance because he was very, very green and raw early, didn't jump that great, and then warmed up, and it was incredibly eye-taking the way he went round the field, and he quickened up to beat, or would have beaten a horse of Bradley Gibbs's that they thought a lot of, and yeah, the saddle went round. Poor Luke Scott was dumped unceremoniously 100 yards from the line, and it would. I suppose, look, it was better off happening there than going down to 2 out when you'd have had to run again, as in the performance was there in the book. They just didn't get the trophy afterwards.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was walking the course actually when he came past me, and he was all over the shop. But once he got going, he took off, and I was really quite impressed with that performance. So, if that horse, they'd have a line through that horse as well with this horse, and, we'll see how he gets on.
And so, as all these young horses at the moment are taking everything in their stride, wandering out onto the track, Mike will let you chart their progress as they take their first steps on the racecourse.
Yep, they've all come out onto the track fine. Having a look at fence number 8. The 7 racecourse debutants in the Tattersalls Cheltenham 4 and 5-year-old maiden race. Once again, over 2.5 miles and 15 fences. In light blue with the black seams and black cap, number 5, Have You Got My Money, Gina Andrews. By order of the court is number 1 in navy with a red cross of Lorraine, red sleeves, white armlets and a red cap. Dale Peters takes the ride. In 2 shades of green, dark green with a light green cross of Lorraine with the dark green cap. Number 6 is Look Out to Sea and James Jevons, one of 2 Fred Hutsby runners in the race. In maroon with light blue sleeves and a light blue and white quartered cap, number 8 is Vendôme and Luke Scott. In purple with a white Diablo on purple sleeves and a purple cap, number 7 is Purple Empora and Izzy Marshall. Having a look at the first is Delgany Bobby Blue, number 2 in red with white braces, red sleeves and cap. James King aboard Delgany Bobby Blue. Exmoor Getaway is arriving at the start, number 3 in emerald green with a pale blue chevron. Emerald green sleeves with pale blue chevrons on those sleeves and a green cap. Tristan Durrell is the rider aboard 3 Exmoor Getaway. 7 runners then going to the 2.5 mile start, 15 fences with open ditches 4 and 12 in this Tattersall's Cheltenham 4 and 5-year-old maiden race. A relatively new series introduced in recognition of the increased numbers of young horses racing in British point-to-points in recent years. And Tattersall's Cheltenham, long-standing supporters of British point-to-pointing. Thanks very much to them. Post time for this race is at 2:20 and we are on post time just right now. Put my recorder. Doesn't matter so much because it's live streamed, isn't it?
Best turned out for this race is Have You Got My Money, and it was turned out by Jess Digweed. Well done.
Nah, it's fine. I'll be okay. I'll play it back later. Okay. Flag is up. Walking forward. And they're off. 2.5 miles the distance in this Tattersall's Cheltenham 4 and 5-year-olds maiden race. 15 fences to jump and all 7 making their racecourse debuts as they go on the short run towards number 1. Delgany Bobby Blue in red and white is going to get to the first in front. And in front possibly on sufferance, but in front by 3 parts to the light blue of Have You Got My Money, showing on the inside for Gina Andrews, black cap for Have You Got My Money. Nobody really wants the running here at all. Navy and red of By Order of the Court, 3 deep on the track for Dale Peters, as they go on the run now towards number 2. Exmoor Getaway is in 4th position in green and blue as they pop over number 2. Purple Empora and Look Out to Sea, and a length and a half then to the maroon colours of Vendôme and Luke Scott as they go towards the right hassle fence, which is number 3 of the 15 in the race. And going over this one, it's for Team Post, Delgany Bobby Blue out in front by about a length. Showing on the inside, Have You Got My Money? And on now towards the open ditch at the far end of the back straight. Delgany Bobby Blue from Have You Got My Money and Exmoor Getaway close up. Wide on the park is By Order of the Court and Dale Peters as they take the right-hand turn now towards the cross fence. Purple Empora is also close up for Izzy Marshall. Izzy on the 16 winner mark for the season, second to Gina in the Ladies' Championship. And now they come in towards the wings of this. Of the last pair then, Look Out to Sea and Vendôme. First of those is the Clare Hart Equine Fence. And in the sheepskin noseband, it is Delgany Bobby Blue out in front. James King on the 26 winner mark for the season, 7 off Will Biddick at the start of play in the male championship. Delgany Bobby Blue is a half-brother to Any Second Now. I wonder if that will be an omen at 5:15 today. So as they come over this one, little to choose there between 3, and in the red and white colours, Delgany Bobby Blue on the right, in the centre in a green cap, Exmoor Getaway, and in pale blue colours, Have You Got My Money? This will be the last next time around, the Fox Denton Fruit Gins fence, And up front in the centre of the track, it's Delgany Bobby Blue. Racing to the inside is Have You Got My Money? In purple, Purple Empora making gains on the outside of By Order of the Court. And as they go up past, there's only a length covering those four. Exmoor Getaway in 5th position in front of Look Out to Sea. And last of the 7, Vendôme. And they've jumped nicely in truth as they go towards the fence, which comes quickly off the bend. This is number 8. And as they come towards it, it's Have You Got My Money showing on the inside of Delgany Bobby Blue. Skipping over this one, Exmoor Getaway in 3rd. By Out of the Court made a slight mistake. Purple Empora shuffled back to 5th briefly. And then Look Out to Sea and Vendôme as they go on now towards number 9. The Godfrey Paint and Warwick fence, which will take them onto the far side of the track. And a mistake there by Delgany Bobby Blue. James King had one hand off the reins at a brief moment there as they move on to the far side of the course, as they slow down again at the rise and prepare to make the run down the far side for the second and final time in this Tattersalls 4-5 maiden race. Delgany Bobby Blue in front, but not by much. Purple Empora pulling through on the outside for a view of the lead in that purple jacket. A mistake that time by Exmoor Getaway, who was relegated to 6th position as they go on towards the middle one down the far side. The right hassle fence, 5 from the finish. And going towards it, 4 with a view of the lead that time, with coming through now By Order of the Court to take up the running on the run down towards the ditch. With the purple colours of Purple Empora in close attendance. 2 lengths then to Have You Got My Money, and Delgany Bobby Blue has dropped back to 4th. Crossing the open ditch, Vendôme went 5th and now into 4th as they move on now from Exmoor Getaway as they make the left-hand turn at the end of the far side. Also Look Out to Sea is in arrears as they go towards the 3rd fence from the finish. Coming down towards it, it's By Order of the Court and Dale Peters crossing it with Purple Empora towards the outside under Izzy Marshall. These two, as they start to make the run down the hill towards the final set of 2 fences. They're 6 lengths in front of an improving Vendôme and Luke Scott as they take the turn into the straight. Have You Got My Money is back in 4th, and they've cleared right away of a fading Delgany Bobby Blue and Exmoor Getaway. As they turn now towards the final 2 fences, it's Purple Empora on the right coming through to press the issue at the second last. 2 By Order of the Court in the red cap as they go over the second last. Purple Empora just in front. Delgany Bobby Blue pulled up with Exmoor Getaway before the second last, but as they come to the final fence, Purple Empora being challenged by Order of the Court. By Order of the Court's landed in the lead at the last and leads by a narrow margin to Purple Empora. Up the Mollington Hill, it is By Order of the Court on the left, on the right Purple Empora as they go towards the line. By Order of the Court, a winning racecourse debut as they go up towards the line. By Order of the Court to Purple Empora, and they finished a few lengths in front then over Vendôme in 3rd position ahead of Have You Got My Money.
The horses pass the post in the following order: 1, 7, 8 and 5. So the result of the second race here at Mollington, the Tattersalls Cheltenham 4 and 5-year-old maiden race over 2 miles 4 furlongs. First, number 1 By Order of the Court. Second, number 7 Purple Empora. Third, number 8 Vendant. And fourth, number 5 Have You Got My Money. The distances were 3 lengths and 10 lengths, 3 lengths and 10 lengths, 5 minutes 28 seconds. And this is the provisional result. Yeah, here is a notice about Fred Child. His name is Freddie Yeoman. He's 4 years old. He's wearing a blue coat and jeans, and he was last seen by the front lane of the car park. That's Freddie Yeoman. So anyone seeing a lad who wants looking after, that's who it is. And if you'd be kind enough to bring him to the weighing room, if his connections don't catch up with him before. Thank you. Decorations for the fourth race are now closed. Here are the runners and riders for the third race. This is the Oriental Club Owner Trainer Conditions Race, Level 3. And this, as the title suggests, is sponsored by the Oriental Club. And details can be found on page 31 of the race card. And they are as follows. Number 1, number 2, number 4, and number 5. Number 1 is ridden by James King. Number 2 is ridden by Toby McCain Mitchell. Number 4 is ridden by Laura Jenkins. And number 5 is ridden by Miss J. Arbison. Number 2 wears cheek pieces. Number 2 wears cheek pieces. And number 4 carries a hood. Number 4 carries a hood. 4 runners.
Well, Sam, by order of the court, makes a winning racecourse debut, getting the better of Purple Empora from the back of the last. A really likeable performance, this.
Yeah, I think 2 very nice horses. I think they're, it's a very professional going down the back there. I think, 3 of them kind of got racing a bit. And these 2 came to the fore, yeah, no, real good performance.
Yeah, it was and they pulled well clear of the Fondant of Tom Weston's. That was again a promising racecourse debut. There'll be better days ahead for him as well. Yeah,
he was green early, made a couple of slow jumps early on, and he warmed to his task nicely. And I thought coming down here he might stay on a bit better. But no, he's also going to be a promising horse for the future. But yeah, that and Alan Hill's horse, Purple Emperor, yeah, 2 really nice horses. Yeah. Be interested to speak to Dale and see whether the sales is the plan for this horse, or whether he's going to stay point to point in. Either way. He looks a horse that's going to be well up to making his mark further down the road, and an exciting prospect. Slow early gallop, and then they seem to really get racing from once they jump the ditch at the top of the hill, and the main protagonists sort of had it to themselves from the third last. Yeah, that's how they kind of ride their races over in Ireland, though, isn't it? Yeah. They go steady early on for these younger horses, get them in a rhythm, get them warmed up, and then get them
horses away, please.
And like I say, they all warmed up. There was no noticeable errors really throughout, and like I say, I just think the ones that were ready and to the fore sort of took it up from the third last and pulled well clear. So I would say the first 2 raters, nice prospects, and then I thought that the third and fourth, Fondant and Have You Got My Money, are also going to improve greatly for the experience, and both should be up to winning their maiden before long. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, it was a nice race, and as we said, a bit of depth to the race gives us a bit more to talk about after, and gives a bit more substance to their performance as well. Yep, it does. Well, again, hopefully we can grab a word with Dale Peters after the presentation and try and find out what the plans are for by order of the court, because, like I say, if he's a pointer, if he's going to stay point to point in, I can see this horse comfortably going through the grades and ending up as open class, and if not, he's going to be an interesting sales prospect for someone. we move on to the presentation for our second race, the Tattersalls Cheltenham 4 and 5-year-old maiden. Thanks again to Tats Cheltenham for their continued sponsorship. Unfortunately, no representative for Tats today, so Kim Coburn is going to step in to do the honours. And firstly up, Toby Hunt, owner of By Order of the Court. And our winning rider, lovely rider the first time out, maiden, Dale Peters.
The result is now official. Weighed in, weighed in.
Dale, congratulations. That looked like a nice race, you know, on paper. They went steady early, but your horse and Purple Empora pulled well clear from the back of the third last, and I thought it was an impressive debut performance.
Yeah, early on was messy, so when we got down the back and they were still going, I thought, if you're good enough, you'll stay in front. If you're not, you're not. But he weren't learning anything behind the other horses running around in front of him, so he's done everything at home on his own. I was talking to Jake then, saying, you guys and Tom and Junior, you've got plenty to do it with. I've only got one or two to be doing it with, so they have to learn to do it like that.
And so you gave 20 grand from at the sales. Is he a sales horse?
Yeah. Hopefully now we'll go to Cheltenham, mate. The April sale at Cheltenham now, and yeah, see what he makes.
Well, I mean, they'll definitely be taking him after that. And like I say, what was noticeable was the steady early gallop, like you say, made it messy. But once you kind of turned the pace on, they were noticeably accelerated into the ditch. And then from the back of the third last, there was only two of you in it, really.
Yeah, and he's got a hell of a cruising speed, and he can quicken off it. I said, I haven't had him off the bridle at home at all. He's never needed to. He's done everything very easy. Love his attitude. He knows he's a racehorse, and yeah, fingers crossed he goes on to do a nice job for someone.
Yeah, we were trying to remember the name of the horse that you sold to Ben Paulin a few years ago, the lunatic that you bought off. Yeah, exactly. So
it's a very similar horse to him. He'd have more gears than him, and he's probably a bit classier, and I think they'll probably like him a bit better than...
Mentally a bit saner though, or not?
Oh yeah. Everything he's done from day one has been very good. Like I've not had loads of them. I've had a few that have done all right, but he'd be the best I've had.
Yeah, he's the best you had, and so you couldn't see him really making his mark.
I think he's a proper horse, yeah.
Well, it's great, you know, we only saw yesterday with the Hoy Signor and Nergamine at Cheltenham. There's plenty of British pointers making their mark on the rule stage.
We see you guys doing well, see Tom and Gina doing really well. We need it to do well, we need to get to it. That's the way to make money in our game, and we all need to do well, we want to support each other.
Well, it's a way for young people to support the sport of point-to-pointing and keep this racing on across the board, but also see an opportunity to make a few quid out of what they're doing.
Exactly, because you know as well as I do, you don't make much money in the training, so you need to do one or two of these if you can, and then he's going to do well for the next man. So,
exactly. And have you rides later on this afternoon?
Carito, looking forward to him.
It's a match race though, again, which brings its own problems, doesn't it?
Yeah,
tactical affair.
Good thing is he's a front runner, so I can hopefully go around how he wants to. Obviously, Tom and Gina's a nice horse as well, so it'll be a nice race. And then, maiden the last. He's got his own ideas about the game.
Well, congratulations with By Order of the Court. One for the notebook, definitely, and good luck in the Open with Carito the Boss.
Top man. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Well done, buddy. Well done. It was really good.
Can we have the horses to the paddock for the third race, please?
The Oriental Club Owner Trainer Conditions race is the race 3 on today's card, and a select field of 4. I mean, but to be fair, Sam, with an entry of 5, that's quite a good result, I would say.
Yeah, we've done quite well with the declarations here, and it's it's going to be a competitive race actually. I like the look of the top horse ahead of the game, ridden by James King. He won well at Shelford when I was there. He looked to jump a bit better. I'm not sure the track would be in his favour. Maybe a stiff finish. I'm not completely convinced. He's the strongest of stayers, but he does jump. He's jumping a lot better this season. I spoke to James earlier, and he said he jumped better last time. So hopefully he can have a good day today.
Yeah, and the only thing I would say, his run style will be suited to the track. I'd imagine he'll be patiently ridden, won't he? And James will look to produce him sort of from the back of the second last, I'd have thought, and this small field is going to play to his strengths, I would have thought. As long as they go in okay enough gallop, he'll switch him off, produce him late.
Yeah, he will, yeah, and it's different ground to the last day though. The ground is more similar to the day First Drift won at Garthorpe. Better ground, saw him, he's improved throughout the season. He's a very good horse, he's a young horse under rules actually.
First Drift?
Yeah.
Did you think the ground was better at Garthorpe? Honestly, I thought it was very hard work that day.
Well, you know more than me.
Yeah, I mean, we ran Trainwreck in the race, who finished 3rd. I think he should hopefully have a really good chance tomorrow at Barbary Castle. But I thought the ground was quite gluey and holding, and my concern for First Drift was more lively conditions today.
Oh really? Okay. Well, you know more than me. You follow it more.
Not at all, but I mean, I'm just saying on this occasion, I thought it was another of those classes where they were saying good to soft ground at Garthorpe, but actually walking round and the times were slow at Garthorpe that day.
Interesting. Well, age before beauty. I'll let you have that one. You can be in charge of that. But yeah, no, ahead of the game, I think would be he's probably favourite on the board. I don't know, but yeah, I think ahead of the games, if he can jump as well as he did at Shelford, he's got a great chance.
Peeping Tom.
First run for 4 years, so I think he's probably best watched today. Laura Jenkins takes the ride, but he was a good pointer back in the day.
Says in my form book he finished 40 lengths second to Late Night Fumble in the Kingston Blount Intermediate.
Okay, I could be wrong then. He hasn't ran for 4 years. I'm telling you that. He hasn't
Well,
run for 4 years.
we will check into that. But my pundit and form analyst Sam Davis Thomas seems to think that this horse hasn't ran for 4 years. I think he finished a well-beat second to Late Night Fumble on his first start back from a long time off.
Well, if he did, then he has, because Late Night Fumble's probably not. I'm going to look now.
And I feel like Fear Jaguar might have been
sorry, he was second to Late Night Fumble on his first run for 4 years.
Yes.
Sorry, my notes were incorrect.
I mean, if he comes forward, can he be a player? I think he's still got a bit to find personally against the top 2.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, he's got a bit to find on the top 2, and then Storm Lantern. He's been around for many years, ex-Wadey Cohen horse, but he gives Jonah Harbison a great spin round every time. He was 18 lengths behind Diplomat Savo at Guilsborough. But I think he's here to pick up the places. Yeah,
he's a likeable horse, isn't he? And he's won his races down the years. He's 13 now, and like you say, he's doing a good job, giving someone a lot of fun. But I think he's going to need others to fluff his lines for him to be coming out on top today, Storm Lantern. Quick selection for you before we hand over to Mike.
Hopefully James King can't hear me, but ahead of the game.
Ahead of the game for me as well. I'm pretty confident selection with him. I think he's a progressive horse, and I think this track and the way he's ridden will be run to suit him. And I think we're hearing a best turned out for Storm Lantern, and is that right?
Yeah, turned out by Jennifer Harbison, who also rides the horse herself. Thank you, Mark.
Mike, we'll hand over to you just so we see Pooping Tom on our monitors. Peeping Tom walking down to the post, and with only the 4 runners made it, so you're going to have to be creative to give us some content throughout this 3-mile contest.
We'll try. First Drift appeared to go to the 2.5 mile start, but no alarms. Toby McCain Mitchell has done a 180. 4 runners here for this Oriental Club Owner Trainer Conditions race. So we're over 3 miles this time. That means they start at the entrance to the home straight. 18 fences to jump, but perhaps crucially 3 times up the Mollington Hill. Number 5, Storm Lantern, is a regular here at Mollington. His first run here was back in 2014. In dark blue with the maroon epaulets, check sleeves and cap, number 5, Storm Lantern and Jennifer Harbison. Going down with 4, Peeping Tom, Laura Jenkins, in dark blue, grey hoop sleeves and a white cap. Number 4, Peeping Tom. Both Storm Lantern and Peeping Tom 13-year-olds. Third one down is Ahead of the Game, who was an odds-on favourite in the ring about 10 minutes ago. Red with the light blue diamonds, half sleeves and a red cap. Number 1 ahead of the game. Top rated here at 105. James King in the saddle. And catching up first drift, number 2. In dark green with red cross belts. Was a bit G'd up on the horse walk first drift. Dark green with red cross belts, dark green sleeves with red armlets on those sleeves and a quarter cap. Toby McKay Mitchell riding number 2, first drift. 4 contestants for this Oriental Club owner-trainer conditions race. Level 3 for penalty purposes. Another national series here, and our thanks to the Oriental Club, who are a private members club with an international outlook. Conveniently located close to Bond Street and within easy reach of Canary Wharf and the city. It's the 3rd year they've sponsored this series. And as you'll see from page 30 of today's race card, they now have a dine-at-home service. Post time for this race is at 2:55. The runner's just having a look at the first. We're 3 minutes past post time, so it shouldn't be too long when they get to the start. They're at the post for race 3. Four runners walking around at the start, seemingly without a bother. Charlie Wadland has made final checks and is walking over to his wooden steps. The flag is in hand and the flag's up. Stand by. They're off. Over 3 miles for the first time today in the Oriental Club owner-trainer conditions race. And as they move towards the first of 18 fences, with the first 2 fences taken 3 times, Storm Lantern is on the left, landing over the first in front to the green and red colours of First Drift. And then Peeping Tom and ahead of the game in a red cap. And again, the pace is steady as they move towards the Fox Denton Fruit Gin's second fence. The final fence in 2 circuits, and Storm Lantern taking it just about in front under Jennifer Harbison to First Drift and Toby McCain Mitchell as they head up towards the judge with 2 laps left to go. A couple of lengths then to Peeping Tom and Laura Jenkins, 2 or 3 lengths in front of ahead of the game, and James King. So 2 laps to go. They're about to turn right-handed and head down towards the Fisher German third fence. And First Drift, who beat 5 at Garthorpe last time by 5 lengths or more, in front here with Storm Lantern showing on the inside rail. 2 fences in close attendance. This is the third. Storm Lantern on the inner, on the outside. A big jump there by First Drift and a mistake by Peeping Tom. Laura Jenkins was shunted down the saddle, recovered well, and as they go through the 2.5 mile start, hasn't lost any momentum. Going towards number 4. And into the wings of it now, it's First Drift on the outside of Storm Lantern. Peeping Tom better that time in third. And ahead of the game, and James King showing in fourth as they move on to the far side of the track. 3 fences to jump on the far side. Plain ditch is the order. and Storm Lantern, who's won twice here before at Mollington at the May meeting, as far back as 2014, when part of a famous Sam Whaley-Cohen 4-timer. Storm Lantern on the inside, on the outside First Drift landing in the lead that time by a half. Peeping Tom is in third with a low head carriage, and ahead of the game is in fourth as they go towards the middle of the three down the far side, the playing fence before the ditch, and Storm Lantern and First Drift putting in big jumps on the outer as they move now towards the Spratt Endicott open ditch, fence number 7. First Drift with a narrow advantage coming in towards the wings of this, to Storm Lantern on the inner. Good jump that time by Storm Lantern. The animals 2 by 2 as they turn towards the next, number 8, the Tubbs End Farm fence. Peeping Tom into third, and ahead of the game going steadily in fourth. A comfortable winner at Sheffield Park last time ahead of the game, and a 3-time winner in points. And they're about to rise at number 8. The quartet still standing as they approach the starting area. And taking that one, little to choose between First Drift on the outside and Storm Lantern on the inside. Storm Lantern, who would have been 2 from 2 at Mollington had he not refused to race a couple of years back. And they're coming in now towards their starting area. On now towards the Clare Hart Equine 9th fence. The first of 2 fences in the home straight here at Mollington. And Storm Lantern, one of 2 13-year-olds in the field, the other being Peeping Tom. Turning into the stretch, racing alongside First Drift, the 11-year-old, as they come towards the 9th. Little to choose between the 2 leaders. Peeping Tom was only 3 parts back in 3rd place. And ahead of the game, the Spring Chicken in the field at 8 in 4th position and close up. As they come towards the fence, which will be the last inner circuit's time. This time round, it's number 10. And skipping over it, Storm Lantern landed with a narrow advantage to First Drift and Peeping Tom in the white cap as they move up now towards the judge. With 8 fences left to jump, it's 3 in a line with a circuit to go. And Storm Lantern on the inside, First Drift in the centre, and on the outside, Peeping Tom. Peeping Tom, the only horse in the field not carrying a £3 penalty. Ahead of the game in 4th close-up, James King riding a double at this card last year with Fan Club Ohm and Largy Mountain as they go towards these 2 fences on Southam Road. Taking this one, it's Storm Lantern out in front by just over a length to First Drift. Peeping Tom is in 3rd position out wide, and ahead of the game is going steadily in 4th in close attendance, watching all their moves as they go towards the fence on the rise, the Godfrey Paynton fence. And Storm over in front, Storm Lantern, still with a narrow advantage to First Drift. Peeping Tom in 3rd, and ahead of the game in 4th as they run onto the far side. They've got 6 fences left to jump. So 2 plain fences then at the entrance to the back straight. Storm Lantern leading by just over a length to First Drift in 2nd position under Toby McKay Mitchell as they go over the first down the far side. A better jump that time by First Drift. Storm Lantern was in a bit close. Peeping Tom is still handy, so too ahead of the game as they go towards the right hassle fence. 5 from the finish. First Drift just about in front, again jumping well and with relish on the outside of Storm Lantern. Peeping Tom is getting closer again in the white cap on the outer as they approach the Spratt Endicott ditch for the 2nd and final time. 4 fences left to jump, the 4 covered by 2 lengths, and ahead of the game in red moving to the front. Ahead of the game made a move there and came through on the inside as the field make their way right-handed with First Drift and Storm Lantern close up. A length then to Storm Lantern and Peeping Tom in 4th as they go towards the 3rd last fence on the side of the course, and going over it ahead of the game, put in an attacking jump and went 2 lengths in front as they make the downhill run back for home. Ahead of the game, and James King making the right-hand turn towards the home straight with an advantage of 3 lengths. 2 in 2nd position, Third Drift as they make the turn past the starter with 2 fences left to jump. Ahead of the game from First Drift. Moving on then to Storm Lantern and Peeping Peeping Tom, who are a good number of lengths behind now as they turn into the home run and as they come towards the second last. It's ahead of the game with the advantage, comes towards it, takes it safely, leads by 3 to 4. In second position, First Drift as they make the run towards the 18th and final fence. They're many lengths in front of Storm Lantern and Peeping Tom, and as they come towards the last, it's the 8-year-old ahead of the game over in front, tidier than First Drift as they go up the rise towards the line, and it's the Sheffield winner ahead of the game on the run in here. A few lengths in hand to First Drift as they go towards the post. The top rated ahead of the game is ahead of the game, and for the X's of the late James Warner, it's James King, and ahead of the game to First Drift, Storm Lantern and Peeping Tom.
The horses pass the post in the following order: 1, 2, 5, 4. So the provisional result of the third race here at Mollington, the Oriental Club Owner-Trainer Conditions Race. First, number 1, ahead of the game. Second, number 2, First Draft. Third, number 5, Storm Lantern. And fourth, number 4. The distances were 6 lengths and 8 lengths. 6 lengths and 8 lengths in a time of 6 minutes 59 seconds. And that is the provisional result. And I'm pleased to say that Freddie Yeoman has turned up and been reunited with his parents. Here are the runners and riders for the fourth race, the Hatton Arms Mixed Open Race, and details of which can be found on page page 41, and the runners are number 1 and 3. Numbers 1 and 3. Number 1 is ridden by D. Peters, and number 3 is ridden by Gina Andrews. 2 runners.
A straightforward success then for ahead of the game in our third race, and the 2 that we thought were the main protagonists, First Drift and ahead of the game, came to the fore. But to be honest, once James King had got up the inside, jumping the 4th last and got a good jump at the 3rd last down the hill, I was slightly concerned that First Drift's extra stamina might come into the play, but result was never really in doubt, Sam.
No, it wasn't. No, James got him jumping in behind again as he did at Sheffield, and yeah, as you say, he hit the front four out. And yeah, I thought the same as you. I thought First Drift might, be there to challenge him after the last. And I've watched Toby McCain ride before, and I was impressed with him again there, and I've been impressed with him all season actually.
Yeah, he's one for the notebook, Toby McCain Mitchell. I mean, he's riding quite a few winners, and like you say, I've watched him ride on a few occasions and been impressed by him.
Yeah, he stands out in a few novice riders races I've seen. He's neat and tidy. He knows what he's doing, but he's bound to with his background. But no, James gave that a great ride. Another winner for him. And yeah, as probably the first winner I've tipped up for about 3 months, to be honest. But yeah, great.
Yeah, I am 2 from 2 on the day, to be honest. I mean, like sitting here smug. I mean, not that took a lot of finding, if I'm honest. As I said, I don't think price-wise there's anything to worry about when we're tipping up what I presume was a short-priced favourite in that race. But Head of the Game is starting to have a progressive profile, isn't he? He won a few races last year. He was second second at Did Martin on his penultimate start. Won well at Sheffield, and he's a ready winner here. And you'd imagine in these sort of races, again, if they pick and choose where they go, there's no reason why he can't win a couple more before the end of the season. And James King, motivated to try and win back-to-back riders' titles. He's got a real challenge on his hand against Will Biddick. I think he was 8 down at the start of play today, but he'll need horses like this to be busy, and not to be just to be busy, but to be winning their opportunities that they have.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, Biddick's had a great season so far down south, and Biddick's been travelling around the country a bit as well. I'm not sure. I think he's at High Easter today, so he's travelling back up to East Anglia where he's been a bit. So James, I think, probably have his work cut out, but I'm sure he'll give it his all. And with the support of all his team behind him, I'm sure he can give it a good crack.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, either way, he's had another fantastic year. As in he's looking to back up what was a phenomenal spring campaign last season.
Horses away, please.
And yeah, and this horse again, great for the Warner family. Jason was a fantastic bloke, and when we miss him a lot, but Marita and Rhonda and Sue, they're keeping the flag flying high, and they've got a nice horse on their hands here.
Yeah, they have, and they do a great job, and their father will be very proud. We've got a big day tomorrow for him as well at Andover, which we're going to, so that'll be great. And Marita's been a big part of that, which Jason was for many years. So I look forward to tomorrow, and well done to them again today.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Right, we'll try and presentation next, and we'll see if we can get hold of James King or one of the other members of the King family and get a bit of a thoughts on Ahead of the Game and where we might see him for the rest of the season.
The result is now official. Weighed in, weighed in.
Presentation for the third race on the card, kindly sponsored by the Oriental Club owner trainer conditions race. Once again, no representative, so Kim Coburn steps in again, and no owner or trainer, so James King is going to come up to get all the prizes and of course his rider's prize too. You're not in the next heat, no, you're not?
No, finish.
Right. That as well?
Yes, I'll take that. I think they'll leave that here.
Step
probably.
across that way then. Okay. Do we hold anything? Press that up, that's it. You just speak quite closely. James, so we're saying on the live stream, ahead of the game, he's building up a bit of a progressive profile, isn't he? He's won his last two starts, and for the Warners, the Warner Kings, he's a horse that's going to give him a lot of fun.
I think so, yeah. No, he's a nice progressive young horse. Just like a typical Westerner, he's just taken a bit of time to come to hand, but they've nurtured him along and they're reaping the rewards now, and all credit to them, they're doing a great job at home.
Yeah, they are. I mean, like I say, we miss Jason an awful lot, but the girls are really keeping the flag flying high, and with a horse like this, we all need decent horses to keep us up there, and he looks like a horse that could continue to progress.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's a fast improving type. I shan't imagine we should go to the well very often this season. He's only an 8-year-old and he's a horse of the future. He was very kindly gifted to us from the Rooneys and Jason Maguire, and just be a horse we look after, because you don't often get, these horses don't come along too often.
And we were talking about your championship battle with Will Biddick. I think you were 8 down at the start of play today. Horses like this are going to be important to try and help you retain your title.
Yeah, I think 6 behind now, but we shall see. I've got lots of nice horses to ride for yourself, Luke Price, and Sue and the girls, and looking forward to it. And we shall see. This time last year, before the hire meeting, I hadn't actually been the winner over 33. I'm not saying I'll do that again, but I should give it a good go.
And taking the title out of the equation, it's been a cracking couple of years. Obviously, Fox Hunters last year, Cousin Pascal ran again at Aintree, and like you say, 33 winners last season. You're 20 plus or something already this time round. Things are going good.
Yeah, no, going really well. Cannot complain. I'm 27 winners for the season now, and riding at a strike rate of about 30%. So, no, really can't complain. And thanks to you, Francesca, and everyone else for putting me up.
And Barbary tomorrow, how many rides you got there?
4 rides at Barbary. I ride a horse I won a maiden on at Siddington the last day. If the ground's quick again, I think she should give a good running. And we got a lovely old boy in the yard called Champion Chase, who you bought in the autumn, and he's been a revelation since he's gone point to pointing, and hopefully he can give a good showing tomorrow, although up in grade.
And the pleasing thing is we've managed to sort some transport for him, so Champion Chase will be at Barbary tomorrow, and hopefully he can contribute another winner to your tally. So James King, congratulations, and the Warner Kings with the head of the game. The winners are our third race.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Well done. Good job. Our fourth race on the card, the Hatton Arms Mixed Open, kindly sponsored by Johnny and Arabella Arkwright. Hatton Arms, you been there, Sam?
It's probably one of the many pubs I haven't been to now. But yourself?
One of the many pubs you haven't been to.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've had enough of you today.
I
One
know,
of the few pubs I haven't been to.
I've driven past the Hatton Arms, never actually dropped in for a pint, but probably should do, to be honest, as in with Johnny and Arabella owning it, I might even have to put my hand in my pocket.
That would suit you, wouldn't it?
It definitely would. Every pound saved is a pound gained, Sam, you know that.
I do, I try and do that myself. So yeah, can we move on and stop talking about pubs and getting itchy feet?
We've already had a bottle of Budweiser. I dare say we could do with another before too long. Thirsty work running through all these cards. And with two runners in the mixed open, it's going to be even tougher going for us. And a quality two, though. If we're going to have a match race, you want some nice horses to talk about. And in Carito de Bros and Dundrum Wood, we've got two decent performers.
Yeah, both fantastic pointers. Start off with Dundrum Wood, was a solid performer for Ollie Murphy. Slightly disappointed, I think, on what he actually achieved.
Again, one of those. He was a very expensive point-to-point winner from Ireland, and like you say, didn't go on under rules and sold to the Ellis team, and he sort of really found his feet in point-to-pointing.
Yeah, they've got his confidence back. You know, they placed him well, and obviously he's thriving at the minute. You know, winning his last three. I think he's been
had to be at his best last time, though.
I think he's been really well placed. I think walkover, yeah, funny, yeah, all right. But I think he has been really well placed, including that walkover. But he's a good horse, and you know, I think we haven't quite got to the bottom of him point-to-pointing yet.
Not at all. And Shona Westrop, huge part of organising this meeting and the Warwickshire that comes on the Maybank holiday, and it'd mean an awful lot to her to have a winner on today's card.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, Shona does a lot of work behind the scenes for everything, and everyone's very grateful of what she does. So thank you to Shona for today. And then Carito de Bros is probably one of my favourite point-to-pointers if I was going to put it out there. I've got a real soft spot for him. I really enjoy watching him run around Garthorpe. You know, you watch him down the back at Garthorpe. You watch this horse along the back here at Mollington. He's got a massive stride. He's got really high cruising speed, and he covers the ground. He's a lovely horse to watch. And he's beat Bad Boy Leroy Brown twice now, last twice at Garthorpe. He hasn't had much to face, but I think he is a very, very good horse, and he also does get £3 off Dundrum Wood.
Yeah, I mean, that is very handy. I mean, I'm just looking down at your notes and it says machine for Carito de Bros. So
that's all it says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I don't have to say any more, do I?
And I probably don't need to ask where the Sam Davis Thomas money's going in this event then.
Well, Tom Ellis has told me I'm not ever allowed to tip up another horse of his. So, yes, Carito de Bros. Sorry, David Kemp. But no, this horse he is really nice, and I really enjoy watching him run. He's a credit to Connections.
You'd be having your 3,000 on to win 1,000.
I would, yeah, but I haven't got 3,000, so I wouldn't be now.
No, so maybe 30 to win 10 for you. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I'm in agreement with you. I think Carito de Bros, he's a front runner as well. Match race, Dale will be able to keep things simple and then bowl along in front, make use of his jumping and his big stride, like you say.
Yeah, I think the only thing in Dundrum Wood's favour, well, there's a few things, but I think, you know, tracking Carito de Bros, he's got something to aim at. I think, just track him all the way through. And then wait till she turns in and then try and have one go at him, maybe, you know, coming to the last. And that might suit Dundrum Wood.
It is the issue with these sort of races, though, isn't it? It can get very tactical, and I don't know. I would be surprised to see them bowl along upside each other. Like you say, I would imagine Gina will follow and try and have one go, won't she?
Yeah, she will, yeah. That's what I'd have thought. I think Carito de Bros, he's a strong traveller, and I think if they get racing upsides, you know, he might be a bit keen, but I think that the way to ride Dundrum would be to drop him in and take her time and, you know, just pounce late if she can. And
try and make use of it. I think he does stay very well, Dundrum Wood, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and, you know, his confidence is high. It's going to be a cracking race. For a match race, as you say, it's going to be a cracking race, and it's something I'm looking forward to, actually.
Well, as I said, we've got two fairly equal rivals, haven't we? I mean, it's not like we've got an absolute out-and-out standout and one that realistically doesn't have any form claims. Both these horses are very talented performers, and again, fair play to both set of Connections for actually pitching up, because it would have been easy seeing when one or the other was going to turn up to try and think, well, we'll wait a week and find a softer option than this, because it's a two-runner race, but it is not a soft option.
No, it's not. No, they're going to have a race today, and if you are watching the live stream and you do want to have a bet, I think Carito de Bros is 1-3, and Dundrum Wood is even money, and you can bet with Mark Hill from home. His telephone number is 07831 293 363, or his website is at markhillracing.co.uk. So if you want to have a bet on a match race, wouldn't be for me, myself, but if you do, there's the details.
Fair play to Mark Hill for giving his telephone number out on air. I mean, he could get up a few unwanted calls later, you never know.
No, I won't be giving mine out.
No, I definitely wouldn't.
Actually, I might do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends which way you look at it, I suppose, but I should imagine you've had a few unwanted calls over the years, and on that note, we shall hand over to Mike Croller. I don't know whether he'd be willing to give his number out on the live stream, but I mean, it seems like everyone's at it today.
Thank you very much. 2 runners then coming onto the course for the Hatton Arms Mixed Open. Number 3, Dundrum Wood, in emerald green with black and emerald green hoop sleeves and a striped cap. Gina Andrews riding number 3, Dundrum Wood. And Dundrum Wood will be taking on number 1, Carito de Bros, and Dale Peters in black with an emerald green star, emerald green cap, and a black star on that cap. Carito de Bros is number 1. So on ratings, Dundrum Wood is 119 and Carito de Bros 133. 2 runners in an interesting match for the Hatton Arms Mixed Open, due off at 3:30. The start is at the entrance to the home straight. We're currently 1 minute past post time. Both runners have had a look at the first fence and are now making their way to the starter for a final check. So the flag is up and they're off and running in the Hatton Arms Mixed Open race, kindly sponsored by the Hatton Arms. They've got 3 miles and 18 fences to go, and Carito de Bros jumps the first in front by 2 or 3 lengths to, in second position, Dundrum Wood. So it's Dale Peters leading Gina Andrews as they come towards number 2. This the Fox Denton Fruit Gins fence. Carito de Bros landing in the lead to Dundrum Wood, who is the best turned out horse in the race, with a prize going to Martha as they make their way up towards the judge with 2 circuits left to go. So Carito de Bros, one of the highest rated horses in the point-to-pointing game at present, making this right-handed turn. An 8-time winner in point-to-points, Carito de Bros, leading by a couple of lengths here to Dundrum Wood, who is unbeaten in point-to-points. 3 from 3 at present, as they go towards the first of 2 fences in close succession. The Fisher German fence, followed by the Godfrey Paynton fence. Fences 3 and 4. Carito de Bros in front by 3 or 4 lengths as the sun reappears, going over the 4th as they make their way towards the entrance from the side of the course onto the back straight. Carito de Bros to Dundrum Wood. Dundrum Wood, whose 3 wins came at Alnwick twice and in a walkover at Brayfield. Dundrum Wood rated 119 and shouldering the maximum penalty in this race of £7 as a really interesting opportunity here to see how Dundrum Wood can measure up to Carito de Bros as they go over the first of the 3 fences down the far side. A plain fence now before the open ditch. This is fence number 6. And approaching it, it's Carito de Bros, 3 lengths in front, measured it okay. Dundrum Wood over in second as they make their way past the cattle and on towards the Spratt Endicott open ditch, fence number 7. Carito de Bros to Dundrum Wood. And going over the open ditch, Carito de Bros seem to measure it well, led by 3 to 4 to Dundrum Wood as they make the right-hand turn at the end of the far side. Dale Peters aboard Carito de Bros, Dale's last win here on Bonamarghi at the May 2019 season before today, when taking the second race with By Order of the Court, as they skip over the fence on the side and make the downhill run towards the home straight, having completed just under a circuit. Racing here for the North Warwickshire Hunt Cup, which will be presented by Johnny and Arabella Arkwright of the Hatton Arms, our sponsors, about to approach the starting area and fences 9 and 10. Carito de Bros leading this match race by 2 to 3 lengths to, in second position, Dundrum Wood, as they make the run now towards this Clare Hart equine fence. Carito de Bros coming towards this one, over safely to Dundrum Wood, owned by Shona Westrop, who does much of the organisation here for both meetings at Mollington. Coming on now towards the fence, which will be the last next time round. That was a beautiful jump by Carito de Bros, making his way up the hill here to Dundrum Wood, the 8-year-old. And now they've got a lap left to go, a lap of 8 fences as they make the right-hand turn at the end of the home straight. On their way around towards the 11th, the Fisher German fence, and a 2-length lead here for Carito de Bros, who's had 4 wins at Garthorpe in his career, and has won at Garthorpe on his last 2 starts in June and March. Carito de Bros coming towards this one and jumping safely. Dundrum Wood in a fraction close, but over safely enough as they continue now towards the 12th. Carito de Bros by 2 to 3 lengths to Dundrum Wood as they come in towards the wings of this Godfrey Paynton fence. Another lovely jump by Carito de Bros, 3 or 4 lengths in front as they move on towards the far side of the track. Dundrum Wood and Gina Andrews. Gina, who's ridden 10 wins here at Mollington since 2017, had a 5-timer here back then. The first lady rider to do so since Polly Gundry many years before. As they go towards the first of the 3 down the far side, Carito de Bros over in front by a couple of lengths to Dundrum Wood, who is still in close attendance as they go towards the 5th last, the middle of the trio down the far side. Carito de Bros coming in towards it now, over safely, 2 lengths in front to Dundrum Wood in second as they go towards the open ditch for the final time in the contest. Carito de Bros by a couple to Dundrum Wood. Carito de Bros again over safely, flashy, 2 lengths in front to Dundrum Wood. 3 fences left to jump. The Tubbs End Farm 3rd last coming up. And 2 lengths between Carito de Bros and Dale Peters and Dundrum Wood and Gina Andrews as they come towards the 3rd last. The card's about to be played then. And Carito de Bros jumped that with aplomb, led by a couple to Dundrum Wood as they make their way down the hill with the final 2 fences ahead of them in this Hatton Arms Mixed Open. And as they approach the second last, Dundrum Wood is being asked to get closer, coming alongside, or at least to within 3 parts of Carito de Bros, as they make the turn towards the second last fence. Carito de Bros on the right, Dundrum Wood in the green jacket coming through in the noseband. Not much between the two as they come towards the second last. Carito de Bros again very well measured over the second last, and pushes on towards the final fence and moved away quite quickly there from Dundrum Wood. Carito de Bros coming towards the final fence and over in front to Dundrum Wood. And Carito de Bros coming up the hill here to Dundrum Wood, who's more animated in second position as they go up towards the line. Carito de Bros from Dundrum Wood, and shaken up towards the line. Carito de Bros and Dale Peters take the match. Dundrum Wood crossing the line in second position.
Here are the runners and riders for the 5th race, due off at 5 minutes past 4. This is the Charles Stanley restricted race. Details of the runners and riders can be found on page 51 of the race card. And the runners are 1, 3, 6, 10, and 11. Number 1 is ridden by George Henderson. Number 3 is ridden by Miss Gina Andrews. Number 6 is ridden by Izzy Marshall. 10 is ridden by Miss A. Jackson Fennell. And 11 is ridden by B. Gibbs. Number 3 carries a tongue strap. Number 3 carries a tongue strap. And number 10 carries a tongue strap. 5 runners.
straightforward stuff then in the mixed open, and Carrito de Bros made all to beat Dundrum Wood conclusively, Sam, in all honesty.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he did it nicely. He made his best of the way out home, and yeah, Dundrum Wood just didn't have the answers for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dale just kept it simple, didn't he? Carrito de Bros jumping was measured rather than being extravagant, and I said to you coming down the hill, much as Gina was creeping closer and looking to get on terms, I thought Dale had loads left, and that once he picked Carrito de Bros up, once they started rising to the finish, it was all going to be over, and so it proved.
Yeah, for people who watch Dale all the time, you could tell, you know, he was confident the whole way around, and even coming to the last, yeah, he kept the revs down, so to speak, coming to the last. He didn't really ask for too much, and he knew what he had underneath him.
He knew just a nice clean jump, and the job was done, and nudged out. I don't think he even had to need to pick a stick up. I mean, he's won comfortably by half a dozen lengths.
Yeah, he has, but you know, as match
horses away, horses away, please.
It was a good match race. You know, Dundrum Wood didn't disgrace himself at all. He jumped well on the whole, and he'll pick up more races before the end of the season.
Oh, completely. I mean, Dundrum Wood is a really likeable horse, and there's going to be loads more racing to do for him. Just as you said, Carrito de Bros is a machine in your words, but I mean, whether that's correct or not, I mean, he's certainly a massively above average and exciting point-to-pointer, and Hunter Chase evening for him, it's going to be interesting to know if that's the plan now.
Yeah, we'll try and have a word with David Kemp, see where he wants to go with him. You know, if we'd ever had 5 runners in the race, it would probably still be the same outcome. These two would have been probably first and second. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we had the right to, and like I say, as match races go, it wasn't a bad contest, and two lovely horses are going to win plenty of races, but Carrito de Bros on this occasion by far the best.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot for Escaria 10. I've got a soft spot for Escaria 10. But, you know, I'll probably end up backing 4, you know how it is. My wife's definitely backed 3. All on names, as you know. No.
He found me. I was in deep discussion with the senior steward. Yes, that's what I told Charlie. Mate, he did give me a lift down.
So what number am I in the last race?
The last one. 6 race.
Yeah, Felino de Berti.
I don't know. They've got them over there. The ladies at the end of the table will tell you. I don't even know what Mr. York's number is either. 4. Thank you. The result is now official. Wade in, wade in.
Can we please have David Kemp to the presentation stand, please? David Kemp, thank you.
Presentation for the feature race on the card, the Hatton Arms Mixed Open, kindly sponsored by Johnny and Arabella Arkwright. And for this, we welcome the owner, John Ridge of Corrito de Bros. And a prize, the Bodler Gin, kindly sponsored by Fox Denton, for winning trainer David Kemp. David Kemp joins us after the Mix Open, and match races are never ideal for anyone, but he's a quality performer, and Dale kept things simple. Is that always the plan?
He's a really classy horse. He's the sort of horse you actually want in a two-runner race because you can do anything on him. He loves making the running, but he doesn't have to. And if there's no pace, it just made sense just to take them on. Not a strong gallop maybe, but just a nice gallop to make a proper race of it.
And watching, I felt like Dale was always really comfortable, even though Gina closed on him coming down the hill. Like, it looked to me like he had loads left under the locker, and as soon as he picked him up from the back, from turning in, it was, a victory was almost a given as long as he popped the last two fences, which he did with aplomb.
Yeah, it's always a lot more comfortable for Dale than it is for me watching, especially with a horse like that. He's nearly a pet.
Can we have horses to the paddock, please?
He's so good. You think eventually something's going to go wrong, but he just keeps coming out and doing it. He's so fragile. I can't even tell you. His legs are fine. It's just physically with arthritic this and kissing spines and this, that, and the other, and that's the reason why he's so lightly raced. But he is just a phenomenal horse.
And where's the plan to see him next? Will we see him again this season?
Well, I would have liked to have qualified Laura Gold for the Cheltenham Mixed Open Final. He's currently not qualified because he hasn't run the point-to-point yet. So I'm hoping, praying that he could, that Krita could be sound in 3 weeks' time and we could go there. But we'll have to see how he comes out of this.
Every trainer's sort of nightmare. You're going to see how he is in the morning, and fingers crossed he pulls out. I presume okay. He's not going to pull out great.
Technically he'll be sound, but it's just he'll be feeling himself even after what appears to be a relatively routine exercise. Yeah, he will be feeling himself. But
and how to get away in the first? He finished second round well. Any reasons for getting beat?
Look, we had no intention to run him over 2.5 miles ever, but unfortunately there's been a change to the intermediate final qualification rules. We would have run an open round Fakenham last week. Unfortunately, I didn't realise until after we'd missed that opportunity that he could have run there, and we just having run on heavy, or what I would say was soft heavy at High Easter, we had to come for, I suppose, like a confidence boost. He didn't jump well out of that ground, so I felt I had to come here somewhere I knew the ground would be prepared, safe. So it wasn't the ideal race to go for in any shape or form, but we're pleased with that. I would have settled with second before. I know I'd like to win, but I would have settled second before because I think it was a competitive race over his completely wrong trip.
Yeah, so there'll be better days ahead for him. So anyway, congratulations to Carito de Bros, and fingers crossed we'll get to see him on Hunter Chase evening at Cheltenham.
Thanks, Charlie. Cheers, that.
Well done, mate. Thank you. The Charles Stanley restricted race is our penultimate race on the card, and we've a really sort of select field in a competitive contest ahead. Sam, for the live stream watchers at home, run us through the runners and riders.
Yeah, no problem. Horse number 1 is Bloodstone, and that's ridden by Dale Peters. Horse number 3 is...
I thought it was ridden by George Henderson.
George Henderson. You're going to have me every day of trying to, aren't you? Number 1 is Bloodstone, ridden by George Henderson. Number 3 is Every Minute, ridden by Gina Andrews. Number 6 is Hilnamix, ridden by Izzy Marshall. Number 10 is Persian Steel, ridden by Miss Amber Jackson Fennell. And number 11 is Who the Man, ridden by Bradley Gibbs.
Really good contest this ahead, actually. I think probably one of the most competitive races of the day, Sam, would you say?
Yeah, I think it is as well. We've actually been quite lucky today. I think we've had a real good card on today, and it's been some competitive races. I know we had a match last time, but I think this is the most competitive race of the day, and there's a few good, real nice horses in this.
So we're going to run down them. Obviously, Dale Peters struck with a cork cave in the 4 and 5-year-old maiden, and Bloodstone here for him.
Yeah, Bloodstone. He was 35 lengths behind Every Minute when he won his maiden. I think he's got a bit to find with him. He won his maiden at Horse Heath, so kind of a similar track, a stiff stairs track. So that might play into his favour. But he's going to have a bit to find with horse number 3 at Every Minute, I think.
And Bloodstone also finished behind Every Minute when Every Minute was beaten on his last start at Brayfield.
Yes, correct. Very good. You've done your homework.
I have tried. Every Minute, a few words on that horse?
Yeah, I like Every Minute. Yeah, I think the horse that beat it, of John Barlow's Whistleblower, he won. I think Whistleblower won his maiden at Brocklesby and beat one of Tom Ellis's horses as well. I think that's a really nice horse, a really nice progressive horse. John Barlow actually does really well with his horses. He only has a small string, but I think he does really well. I know they fancied him there last time, and I think he was every closer he got to the line, he was staying on. So I think every minute, he's got a great chance here today.
And Hilnemix, next one on the card, he finished 4th in his maiden here, I think, last season before winning at Edgecote. And I must admit, I thought he'd have gone on a bit sooner than he has done. I thought he'd have found fine winning his restricted easier than he has.
Yeah, I remember watching him at Edgecote, and we thought that. We thought he'd go on, be progressive. He's been placed in his restricteds, but I think we probably haven't seen the best of him yet.
And Sign the Mind, though, in fairness, that he got beat by at Duncan Park is a really, really progressive northern horse, actually.
Yeah, and he was also beaten a long way by Mammoth, but I know that horse has also been doing well as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he's bumped into the right sort of horses.
Yeah.
I mean, whether this is any easier though is there to be, is to be debated. I think there's some really progressive young horses in this.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and we just go down to the bottom horse then. If we're talking about progressive horses, Who the Man again from Bradley Gibbs's yard. He's quite a tall horse. I just see him there. He's got a frame to fill. But he was beat outright by Martin Temple at Kingston Blount. He beat, when he won his maiden, he beat Sunboy McCoy, that's an ex-Ollie Murphy horse, but that was round Higham. This track's completely different. It was 2 mile 5. It was 2 mile 5 last time as well. So completely different track today. So we might see a different outcome from him.
Sunboy McCoy again. He's been one of those frustrating horses, hasn't he? He's hit the bar on a number of occasions, and I think even the last at Siddington, he looked like he was going to win and finally get that number 1 against his name and managed to get chinned.
Yeah, so if you're getting beat by him, you're not too happy, really.
Who the Man, though, he one of our young horses beat him at Chadsley last year, Dondium, and yeah, I mean, Who the Man also ran on that day at Kingston along with Fear Jaguar, where Bradley felt afterwards the horses, those two especially, weren't quite right. Whether Who the Man can do the same as Fear Jaguar and bounce back. I mean, Bradley seems to have given them plenty of time to get over those below par runs, and again, he's got to rate a major player in this.
Yeah, that's interesting what you said about Fear Jaguar, and that obviously worked last time. So if you think the same about this horse, then you want to be getting to the bookies. So but yeah, no, definitely I'd give him a shout.
And Persian Steel, on the balance of all form and probability, he's up against it, this 10-year-old in this race.
I think in this company, yeah, he's he probably best watched today, yeah.
So if I was going to trouble you for a selection, it's been getting better as the afternoon has progressed. So bring it to the boil right now.
Well, I'm not allowed to tip an Ellis horse. I've been told that, and he was actually being deadly serious with me earlier. He was getting a bit of a chip on his shoulder about it. So
he does have that in his character.
Yeah, he likes a chip, and he can get a chip.
Yeah, I must admit, I stood next to him watching the Fox Hunters. I'll never do that again. As in, he's an animated watcher. And he kept grabbing me, squeezing me, as in...
He's quite strong as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a powerful boy, as in, yeah, he is powerful. And I don't really shout a lot, but he kept screaming me, saying, "Come on, Gina!" And I thought, well, I'm going to have to join in with him, otherwise it looks weird. So, and then every time I shouted, he squeezed me a little bit more. I was delighted when he took off to run out after her when he knew she was going to win.
If you can't get excited about that, mind, what can you get excited about?
Quick reflection on that. That was brilliant, wasn't it?
As in fantastic.
Excellent
fantastic
ride
for point to point in general, really. Bred by Pippa and trained by Tom, ridden by Gina. It was just massive for point to points, I think, and it really stamped out, and everyone really noticed it as well, which is fantastic.
Huge. And Passing Glance, a massively underrated sire, had the Grade 1 winner for Alex Hales as well during the week as well.
Yeah, and if you look at him as a horse, you wouldn't think that was possible from him to get round there. I know the fences have changed slightly, but to get around there the way
late night pass this, yeah.
So to get around there like he did, I think it was a massive.
Well, I watched the video on social media during the week, and he was quite deliberate jumping, and yet he was magic the other day.
I think that's probably about going. In the school they're going a bit slower, aren't they? So he's trying to get up and over in the school, and he looked like he landed a bit steep. But yeah, I reckon even I probably might not have won on him, but I could have got round on him.
Right, we digress. They're cantering down to the start. A selection, please.
I'm going to go with Who the Man.
Unfortunately, so am I. So Who the Man for Sam Davis Thomas and me as they come out onto the track to the restricted. And Mike Crawler, we hand over to you.
Thank you, Charlie. The Charles Stanley restricted race. 5 runners heading to the start. Bloodstone went down early. Number 1 in emerald green with white armlets and an emerald green cap, George Henderson. Purple colours here for Hilnemix, number 6. Purple with the white Diablo on the sleeves. Izzy Marshall riding Hilnemix, a grey. In maroon colours with spots. Pale blue spots with a yellow cap, number 3, Every Minute. Gina Andrews takes the ride. And then colours we've seen successful already today. Number 11, Who the Man, in pink with a black hoop sleeves and a black cap. Bradley Gibbs riding Who the Man. Another grey. The best turned out horse in this race is Persian Steel, number 10. Well done to Natalie, who wins the prize for the best turned out Persian Steel. Black and pink quarters, black sleeves with pink spots and a quartered cap. Amber Jackson Fennell taking the ride, number 10, Persian Steel. They're having a look at the first fence. We're over 3 miles again for the Charles Stanley Restricted Race. Charles Stanley, one of the UK's leading wealth management firms, providing bespoke investment portfolios and tailored financial advice at every stage of your financial journey. They're arriving at the start, the post time 4:05. We're 2 minutes past post time, so it shouldn't be long before race number 5. They're at the post, at the post. A reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that we're showing the Randox Grand National on the big screen at 5:15, so do stay around for our 6th race, as well as the Grand National at 5:15. Final checks appear to have been made. The starter is collecting his flag. Flag's up. They're off. Over about 3 miles and 18 fences in the Charles Stanley Restricted Race. A short run towards the first. And in purple colours, Hilnamix is handy as they go towards number 1. Hilnamix taking it with a narrow advantage. In green colours, Bloodstone. And another grey in the field with hoop sleeves, Who the Man. As they move towards the second fence, the Fox Denton Fruit Gins. Hilnamix over in front. Yellow cap of Every Minute racing towards the right as we look down the track. In green colours, Bloodstone. On the inside, Who the Man, and the best turned out Persian Steel in black and pink quarters. Last of the 5 as they come up past us with 2 circuits to go. And it's a neck to a half advantage for Hilnamix, a winner of 1 from 4 in point-to-points. Under Izzy Marshall, leading by a length here to Every Minute, the top rated at 99. Showing in 3rd position, Who the Man, as they go towards the 3rd. Every Minute in at that over in front. As they move on towards the 4th, stoked away from that fence was Hilnamix. The Codry Painton 4th will lead them into the back straight. And it's Every Minute on the outside of Hilnamix. To Bloodstone in 3rd. Black cap on the inside of Who the Man. Colours successful earlier with Fear Jaguar. And then a length and a half then to Persian Steel, the oldest horse in the field at 10. As they move off down the far side towards the first of the 3 down the back straight. This is the Spring Paddocks Equine Fence. Fence number 5, and it's Every Minute by a half. Every Minute jumped that really well. It's jumped well at 2 of the last 3 fences. 2 lengths in front to Hilnamix as they go towards the middle of the 3 in this section. Bloodstone on the outside of Who the Man, third and fourth, as they take this one. And 3 lengths then to Persian Steel and Amber Jackson Fennel. Going on then towards a Spratt Endicott Open Ditch, fence number 7 of the 18. And it's Every Minute coming towards this one, again jumping well, leading by a length and a half to Hilner Mix in second position. Showing in third, Who the Man, a winner at Higham back in January. And Bloodstone keeping this one company on the outside for George Henderson. As they move towards the Tubbs End Farm fence, which is number 8, taken on the side. And all 5 over safely. About 5 to 6 lengths first to last as they freewheel down the hill and make their way towards the starting area, having completed a circuit. So it's Every Minute in the yellow cap showing up here for Gina Andrews, a winner at Kingston Blunt in February before finishing second at Brayfield. As they take the turn into the home straight, Hilner Mix keeping Every Minute company. A couple of lengths then to Who the Man, Bloodstone and Persian Steel. Going over the Clare Hart Equine 9th fence, a short run towards the 10th. Not much to choose this time between Every Minute on the left and Hilner Mix, the 5-year-old, on the right. As they come towards this one, being pulled up before the 10th there is Persian Steel. Persian Steel taken out of the contest. They've got a circuit left to run. And it's 2 of the country's leading lady riders up there. Gina Andrews, Izzy Marshall, 1 and 2. Every Minute to Hilner Mix, with Who the Man and Bradley Gibbs looking for a double today in third. And Bloodstone, the Horse Heath winner, back on New Year's Eve in fourth. The fourth of the 4 that remain as they go on towards the Fisher German fence off the bend. 8 fences left to jump. Every Minute's jumping really well. Hilner Mix is over in second. Who the Man taking it in third to Bloodstone, and on they go towards the rise, which will take them towards 7 out. So it's Every Minute by a couple of lengths, Every Minute in towards this. Again, measured out okay. Hilner Mix in second. Taking it in third, Who the Man, and ridden away from that fence, Bloodstone. As they go right-handed, 6 lengths first to last. As they go towards the 3 fences down the far side. In this Charles Stanley restricted race, a couple of lengths lead here for Every Minute. Gina Andrews for Tom Ellis. Tom on the 46 winner mark for the campaign. Every Minute over that one in front. Hilner Mix just about in second. A faller there was Bloodstone, and took a fairly heavy fall, Bloodstone. The horse has got to his feet and is walking away from the fence. The rider, George Henderson, getting to his feet as they cross the middle one down the far side. Every Minute by 2 lengths. Hilner Mix challenged for second place now by Who the Man. As the runners continue down the far side. This is the open ditch. Every Minute. Ooh, that was a bold jump. 2-3 lengths in front. 2 in second position, Who the Man, who's gone in front of Hilner Mix as they make the right-hand turn. But there's been some pretty zesty jumping here from Every Minute on the way round. Comes towards the third last with an advantage of about 5 to 6 lengths. Comes towards this one. On the side of the course, Every Minute over in front to Who the Man in second place, Hilner Mix in third, as they make the run down the hill. 2 fences left to jump in the Charles Stanley restricted race. And it's an 8 to 10 advantage now for Every Minute coming down the hill. 1 from 2 in points under Gina Andrews, who's at the beginning of the day was one win in front of Will Biddick. Turning towards the second last, Every Minute is 12-15 lengths in front. Coming towards a final set of 2 fences, Every Minute over that well. 2 in second position, Who the Man, and then Hilner Mix. But the gap between first and second gets bigger and bigger and bigger as they make the Rollington climb towards the final fence. Oh, and Every Minute bundled the last. Gina Andrews sat tight. She had glue on her saddle and she stayed in the plate going up the hill. Every Minute put in some bold jumps on the way round, but a Horlicks at the last. Well clear, however, and Every Minute is going to make it 2 from 3 in points, and Gina Andrews has done the business. Well clear of Hilner Mix, who has rallied past Who the Man.
the horses past the post in the following order: 3, 6, 11. So the provisional result of the 5th race, this is the Charles Stanley restricted race. First, number 3, Every Minute. Second, number 6, Hillamix. And third, number 11, Who the Man. The distances were 20 lengths and 3 lengths, 20 lengths and 3 lengths, and they ran in 6 minutes, 24 seconds, and only 3 finished. Here are the runners and riders for the 6th and final race, due off at 4:40. Details of the runners and riders for the 6th race can be found on page 61 of the race card, and they are as follows. Number 1, 6, 7, 8, 8, 10 and 12. So there are 6 runners in the last race. Number 1 is ridden by Luke Scott. Number 4 is ridden by R. York. Number 5 is ridden by J.W. Stevenson. Number 6 by Dale Peters. and number 10 by Martin McIntyre, and 11 by Gina Andrews. Number 12 carries cheek pieces and wears a tongue strap. Number 12 carries cheek pieces and wears a tongue strap. 6 runners. Horses away, please.
Potentially the performance of the day there in the Charles Stanley Restricted, as every minute makes nearly all the running, jumped fantastic throughout, bar a hair-raising moment at the last, and had them beat senseless, really, Sam.
Yeah, it did, yeah, apart from, they had a bit of a disagreement on which stride to take off on. Gina wanted one and he decided he was going to go on the other, but they got away with it and it was a very likeable performance. If you look at him, you've obviously all seen him in the paddock and in the winner's enclosure. He's a gorgeous horse and he's got a lot of scope about him. So I think he can actually go on and do plenty more throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, on the back of this, it looked a competitive contest, and he's, like I say, to me, it was the most impressive performance of the day, and he's blown him apart. He looks a sound jumper, strong traveller, and stays well, and he's got all the attributes, really, to continue progressing, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and, that just stands, with the whistleblower that beat him last time, that could be a really nice horse as well. So, yeah, this every minute's going to go on, and he'll go through the ranks quite easy. I'll be interested to see where they're going to go next, with the restricted final and things like that coming around the corner.
You'd think it's an obvious fit for him, wouldn't it? I wondered if he enjoyed this nicer ground a bit more than Brayfield as well.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely then. But no, he's just a really nice, pleasant horse to have on the yard, I can imagine.
Just running through the also-rans, Hilnemix ran a funny sort of race. He was under pressure a long way out, looked like he was going to drop out, and then actually, to his credit, plugged on to go past Who the Man on the run-in.
Yeah, I like this horse, but I think he's proving slightly disappointing on what we saw last year. I think he's going to have to improve a bit, to be going through the ranks like we thought. I think he's, whether he's got any issues. I thought last year he was a bit weak. He's had his time now to fill his frame, and he's just still not just getting it for me.
But as you say, he is only a 5-year-old. He's got time on his side. Who the Man, 6-year-old as well. Sort of second below par effort from him, and again the jury will be out for the immediate future.
Yeah, if he finished third, he obviously didn't finish that well up the straight. He obviously got done for second because he was second turning in. So yeah, he might want to go back to a short, easier track.
So I mean, as it stands, I think every minute is certainly a point to have on your side moving forward through the rest of the season. Like you say, it'd be interesting to see whether there's Hunter Chase targets for him at the back end, and Hilnemix and Who the Man, progressive horses with potentially questions to answer right now. Different class.
Just a reminder to jockeys, please remember to collect your medical cards before you go home. As jockeys, please remember to collect your medical cards before you leave the course tonight.
And a quick note to thank most sincerely all those whose hard work and generous sponsorship help us here at Mollington with so much of what is essential for the successful running of our point-to-point. The Mollington Horse Races Committee would particularly like to thank Mr. and Mrs. David Jeffries for kindly allowing them to hold their meeting here again.
The result is now official. Wade in, wade in.
And some thanks for the best turned out awards today to Harley Equestrian, for winning jockeys prizes to Robin Hobday, the gin for winning owners to Fox Denton Fruit Gins, the saddle cloths to Upton Viva Stud, the paddock to Adrian Hopkinson, the meat for the sponsors' hospitality to Aubrey Allen, for the loos, Deddington Liquid Waste, to Knight Frank for the car passes, and for the trestles for the bar to Priory Tool Hire. Thanks to all our supporters at the trade stands today, and indeed to our race and fence sponsors. Your support is very much appreciated.
presentation for the Charles Stanley Restricted, and we're fortunate to have Rhea here representing to present the trophy to. There's too many of them to mention, so every minute's owners, please come up and collect the prizes. And our winning rider, fresh from her Aintree Fox Hunter success, Gina Andrews. You'll get yours after the Grafton members. Joined by Gina Andrews, and to me that was the most impressive performance of the day by every minute. He looks like a horse really on the rise. Better ground suit him more today than Brayfield?
Yeah, I don't know, for whatever reasons at Brayfield he just wasn't at the races. He ran quite flat really, and we were very disappointed. But he was a lot more up for it today, and he didn't jump well at Brayfield either, and he jumped very well the first time we ran him, so I was quite surprised about that. But he jumped super today, other than my little miscommunication at the last fence.
We're going to call that rider error, or?
Most certainly rider error, yes.
But I mean, like I say, he's the profile. He's 2 from 3 since you brought him over from Ireland, didn't you? And are we restricted final at Stratford? Is there anything penciled in for him?
To be honest, we haven't got any great plans for him, so we're just taking each race as it comes. He's had a few little niggly issues, so whatever he achieves now is a bonus.
And he's only a 6-year-old, so he's everything in front of him, and you'd be hopeful that he could go for the grades next year and beyond.
Yeah, we very much hope so.
And we best just chat briefly about late night pass at Aintree. Fantastic day, and just describe to everyone what it meant to you and the team.
Oh, it's just an absolute dream come true. It's the biggest race of them all, just about, and I've always wanted to win it. I've had some great rides around there, and obviously he ran well again last year, and we specifically missed Cheltenham with him to aim him at Aintree, and it ended up paying off, and I had a wonderful ride on him.
And has he come out of it okay?
Yeah, he's absolutely A1.
Is that it for the season for him, or might we see him somewhere else?
No, that'll be it for him now.
And all roads back to Aintree next year?
Absolutely.
And I don't want to dull it down, but on wireless operator in the next?
Depends what mood he's in.
Good luck.
Thank you.
The Lodders PPORA club members 6-year-old and over maiden race, also over 2.5 miles, finishes the card today. And 6 runners, Sam.
Yeah, it's another good race. We've got a lot of nice declarations for the entries as well, and we've got a few horses here to talk about that are going to have a chance. There's a few horses that are a bit in and out, a few that don't want to put their head in front. So yeah, we can talk through them.
Well, we best start at the top then. Ballynagore for David Kemp chasing a double.
Yeah, no, he's already been on the scorecard today. He's a horse who probably looks like he's had his issues. He's been off here and there. He was second at Higham. This is the first run of the year for him today. He actually fell here last year. But his form back in Ireland's good, and if he can produce this form in Ireland, I think he could take a bit of beating here today.
Being by Milan as well, 7-year-old, he could just be coming too as well. They often take quite a bit of time to progress those horses.
Yeah, they do. Dale's obviously abandoned him for his own horse.
Do we read anything into that or not?
I don't think so. No, I think Dale's got to ride this horse of his. So no, I wouldn't go against that. And I think Luke Scott's a valuable replacement.
Yeah, indeed. Carry on, Buddy, for Tim Underwood and Phil York.
Yeah, Carry On Buddy. He actually his tack slipped at Kingston Black last time when he actually unseated just before the last. I was speaking to Phil York earlier, so hopefully we won't have that issue today. Phil York didn't ride in the last day. Obviously, Phil York's got loads of experience, but he's going to have to improve on what he's shown so far.
Saying to Phil York, I seem to be seeing him everywhere at the moment. I think he was at Fontwell the other day. Every time I turn the TV on, he's riding.
Yeah, there's no stopping him. He'd be in the casket, still trying to ride a point to point.
Well, I mean, hopefully not, but anyway. Devon Redway for Tom Wardle and Joseph Stevenson.
He's going to have to improve. He was well behind until he was pulled up at Sheffield last time. I don't give him any chance.
Felino de Bursay for Dale Peters, rides himself for Johnny Henderson.
I can never really remember about this horse really, but he was pulled up in Gilsborough on bad ground. Maybe better ground would suit. They tried running at Lark Hill, good conditions. Hopefully the better ground might suit him today, but he's probably been a bit disappointing this year on what he's shown last year.
Did he run okay around here at the meeting last year though? I think maybe he might have been second or third.
You were the one looking it up on your phone beforehand.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean I'm just chucking out there to you, checking that you're still on the ball, my friend. But again, Felino de Bursay, on some of his best pieces of form, would be a player in this race.
Yeah, he would.
Right Hand of God for Hannah Clark and Martin McIntyre.
Yeah, obviously Charlie's probably gone to High Easter today, so doesn't ride this. He was rated 100 under rules with Gary Moore. First season pointer. I don't think that wasn't a bad one when he was fourth at Penshurst, but it's not the strongest of racing down there.
Calvick though could be a progressive pointer. Would have finished second to Western Zephyr at Barbary, tipping up, and they waited a while to get him back on track, and he could be a horse to keep on the right side of. Yeah, I'd assume.
I guess Fly's here just for one. Sorry, Martin's here just for one ride, so he's probably not come all the way here for that.
Do you ever buy into that?
It depends who it is. So Martin would have a lot of rides, wouldn't he? So why would he come here to ride one horse that's got no chance?
Yeah, and just when they say it often about under rules, and I think every jockey goes anywhere when they're offered a ride, pretty much.
It depends what it is. So you wouldn't see Aidan Coleman going to Catterick to ride one for, I'm not going to say names, but
he doesn't like to go anywhere anyway.
No, he doesn't. No,
I think that's a poor example, but I just wondered how much credence you give that the jockey going for one ride thing.
I think it would be in this sort of context. I think Martin, he got better things to be doing on a Saturday afternoon and come all the way up here to ride one.
And Hannah Clark, they had a winner a couple of weeks ago, so horse will run okay. And the bottom horse, Enigmatic Wireless Operator.
Yeah, first time cheek pieces. Hopefully they work wonders on him because he's not looked the easiest. He's probably going to get a bit of a smack bottom if he doesn't behave himself. But he doesn't want to win really.
Well, he did snatch defeat from the jaws of victory when we were together at Gilsborough last time out, didn't he? I mean, he kicked clear between the second last, and you thought that he was going to be impressive and finally get sort of a confidence boosting first win and get his career sort of moving forward, and he somehow managed to get beat.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll try his best today. The only plus is he's going to, he's running back towards where they come out on the chute, which might help.
And being presenting this kind of conditions to the gluey ground we had at Gilsborough might be in his favour.
Yeah, 2.5 miles, cheek pieces on. He's got no excuses today, so he best put his head in front.
How do you ride a horse like this? Where do you reckon?
I'd imagine she'd be. I'd normally take my time on something like this, but I'd imagine your cheek pieces on 2.5 mile. She might just make his mind up for him, and I know that she's quite capable of making her mind up for a horse.
So for the lucky last, have you selection for us?
I'm going to stick with Ballynagore, number 1, for a double for David Kemp.
I'm going to go for Dale Peters doubling up on the day for Felino de Bursay.
So the answer is Wireless Operator will probably win.
Could well be, yeah, for sure. But I mean, if he comes to the last travelling well, I still wouldn't want to be having a house on him, that's for sure, Sam.
No, me neither.
Right, the last race of the day. Mike Croller has been fantastic all day. Been great having you with us. And for the last time, call them home, my friend.
Great work, gents, and great to see you all back here. We're racing again on Bank Holiday Monday, the 2nd of May for the Warwickshire. 7 races beginning at 2 o'clock, and the gates are opening at 12 noon. But for today, our final race is the Lothers PPORA Club members 6-year-olds and over maiden race over the shorter distance of 2.5 miles. Thanks go to our sponsors Lothers, who have been supporting farmers and rural families for 235 years with their expert and friendly solicitor business, enabled by the latest technology, HR, finance and operations expertise. 6 runners on the course looking at the first fence. They start with their backs towards us again, and in green with white armlets on the sleeves, 6 Felina de Bear C, Dale Peters is in the plate. In white with blue sleeves and a hoop cap, number 4 Carry On Buddy and Phil York. In purple with a white sash, sheepskin noseband for number 10 Right Hand of God and Martin McIntyre. Light blue with the purple stars on the sleeves. And the sheepskin cheek pieces is number 12, Wireless Operator, Gina Andrews. Wireless Operator is the best turned out. And it's congratulations to Yana Graham, who wins the best turned out prize with Wireless Operator. Devon Redway is number 5 in yellow with the navy blue disc and armlets. Yellow cap, Joe Stevenson is aboard, Devon Redway. And in yellow and brown quarters, Ballinagore is number 1. Luke Scott is in the plate. Number 1, Ballinagore. 6 runners for our final race today. The Lothers PPORA Club members 6-year-olds and over maiden race. 2.5 miles, which is 15 fences. And post time 4:40. And we are now on post time. A reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to stay around with us at Mollington for coverage of the Randox Grand National on the big screen at 5:15. Final checks have been made at the 2.5 mile start. Reminder that the open ditches here are 4 and 12 of the 15-day take. So Charlie Wadland climbing over the fence, takes the flag. Flag's up. And they're off in our 6th and final race today, the Lothers PPORA Club members 6-year-olds and over maiden race. And they go towards the first of 15 fences. The first fence is the Godfrey Paynton fence. Right Hand of God is going to rise first from Wireless Operator and Ballinagore. A length in front of Devon Redway in 4th position. Then Felino de Bercy and Carry On Buddy as the 6 at a steady gallop go on towards the far side of the course for the first of 2 occasions. So coming towards number 2, the Spring Paddocks Equine Fence, and it's Right Hand of God. Out in front by 2 lengths. Over in front to Wireless Operator and Ballinagore. Devon Redway is showing in 4th. To Felino de Bercy, who finished in the placings twice here at Mollington last year. Over the middle one in this line, Right Hand of God looked to go a little bit out to the left over that. Last over it was Carry On Buddy, and they move on towards the open ditch for the first of 2 occasions. Fence number 4 in the contest, and it's Right Hand of God by 2 lengths to Wireless Operator as they jump the open ditch. Not much between 3rd and 4th, with green of Felino de Bercy, yellow and brown of Ballinagore, and then 2 lengths to Devon Redway, having a 12th going point to points today. And in blue sleeves at the back of the pack, Carry On Buddy and Phil York. Over the Tubbs End Farm fence at the turn into the home straight, and that was number 5 of the 15, and they make their way downhill towards home for the first time. Right Hand of God, who was second at the international meeting at Barbary in December, under Martin McIntyre, showing the way here by 2 to 3 lengths to Wireless Operator in 2nd position, a bridesmaid on 4 occasions already this year. Green colours of Felino de Bercy and Dale Peters showing in 3rd. Then Ballinagore, who fell in a division of this race last year. Good jump that time by Ballinagore. Devon Redway in a yellow cap towards the right, and in blue sleeves at the rear of the field, Carry On Buddy, who in-seated rider at Kingston Blunt on his only UK point-to-point start thus far. So that fence will be the last next time around. They're going up the hill now to the Bourne's winning post, with a lap left to go in our finale today at Mollington. Right Hand of God joined by Wireless Operator for the lead as they go past the judge with a lap left to go. 2 lengths to Ballinagore, who's just in 3rd at this point on the inside of Felino de Bercy. And now Carry On Buddy making a move on the inside of Devon Redway as they take the right-hand turn and go now towards number 8. The Fisher German fence before the starter. And little to choose between Wireless Operator and Right Hand of God as they go over the 8th. So through the start, this pair 2 lengths in front of Ballinagore and Luke Scott, having a 4th start in points today. And then after these, Carry On Buddy as they go over another plain fence. Carry On Buddy a couple of lengths in front then over Felino de Bercy, who has ridden away from that fence and is 8 to 10 off the leader, and they've moved away now from Devon Redway as they go on down the far side. 3 fences to jump down the back, 6 left in total. And a good duel here. This has been a duel for a while now between Right Hand of God and Wireless Operator as they go over the first of the 3 down the far side. Better jump that time by Wireless Operator, who ended up a length and a half in front. And Martin McIntyre has had to steady the ship there as they go towards the middle one down the far side, but has done so. And over the middle one down the back, Wireless Operator attacking on the inside. As they continue the run down the back, Devon Redway is being pulled up. So on they go towards the open ditch at the end of the far side. Wireless Operator, Right Hand of God, 2 lengths to Ballinagore, who's close up. And they moved on now from the other pair still going, Carry On Buddy and Felino de Bercy, as they turn right-handed and head on towards the 3rd last fence. So Ballinagore coming through now to mix it as they make the run round the far side of the course, come down towards the 3rd last and going over it in the yellow and brown. Ballinagore pressing Wireless Operator as they go down the hill. Right Hand of God lost the rider a fence back as they make the turn. So they've got 2 fences left to jump, and in pale blue, Wireless Operator and Gina Andrews. In yellow and brown, Luke Scott and Ballinagore. These 2 making the right-hand turn. A good advantage in front over Carry On Buddy in 3rd as they turn round towards the 2nd last fence. And a duel between Ballinagore on the left, Wireless Operator on the right as they come towards 2 from home, and they touch down together. On the right-hand side, Wireless Operator and Gina Andrews. On the left, Ballinagore and Luke Scott serving up a treat as they come towards the 15th and final fence, and it's Ballinagore at the last. Fell in this race last year, is coming up the hill in front this time to Wireless Operator second again, and then after those, we have Carry On Buddy as they go towards a post. Ballinagore staying on best up the hill here, a 4th starting point. It is Ballinagore in front. Tired in second position there, Wireless Operator. And after those then, we've got Carry On Buddy alongside the Loose Right Hand of God. And then Felina de Bercy.
The horses past the post in the following order: 1, 12, 4 and 6. So the provisional result of the sixth and final race here at Mollington: first, number 1, Ballinger Gore; second, number 12, Wireless Operator; third, number 4, Carry On Buddy; and fourth, number 6, Felina de Bercy. The distances were 12 lengths and 10 lengths, 12 lengths and 10 lengths, in a time of 5 minutes 23 seconds. 5:23.
A resounding success for Ballinagore and the 6-year-old and over maiden that finishes the card at Mollington, and that was impressive, Sam. And I'm not quite sure what he beat, but you can only beat what's put in front of you, and he was by far the best.
Yeah, he probably, without being really, probably beat a loser really. So you can't really, don't know how much you can read into that. But he did it impressively enough. He travelled great throughout. He jumped really well. And a horse that's had his problems, you know, they'll just be glad to get a 1 next to his name now.
A race that kind of fell apart. Felina de Bercy, I'm not sure what's troubling him at the moment, but he kind of was under pressure a long way out, jumped indifferently. Right Hand of God then unseated, looking like he was travelling okay, and it was sort of left to Wireless Operator and Ballinagore from the top of the hill, and you're kind of wondering if maybe Wireless Operator we were going to see a new improved version with the cheek pieces on, but sure enough he checked out quickly enough.
Yeah, he waved the flag, you know, as soon as he got a bit of a challenge on, really. And as you say, right-handed guy, he's one I'd, you know, quite like to keep on the right side of. I think he might be okay next time, and yeah, I hope Fly's okay.
And a man like you would know, you always want to be on the right hand of God, don't you?
You do, yes, yeah, you do, yes, thank you.
You do need someone to help you repent for your sins. But Ballinagore, it'd be interesting to see. You'd imagine if they keep going during over the last sort of 10 weeks of this season, plenty of time yet, that a restricted, as racing sort of continues to cut up, will be a formality.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay tomorrow, and you know he can go from there, make a plan for him after that. You know, hopefully get a bit of, you know, nice watered ground or a bit of rain to keep him going.
And you know, as a 7-year-old with fairly low mileage, I could see this horse progressing from here. He looks to jump well, strong traveller, and finished his race out again. He hit the line strong, which again I always think from a form perspective moving forward at Mollington is a big plus, because it's a steep hill to climb up, and when they're galloping through the line like he does, that shows it's one to keep on side of.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I think he's a nice horse.
Good. A nice horse, says Sam Davis-Thomas. We'll try and get a reflection from Luke Scott, and then we're going to wrap up the card before we look forward to watching the Grand National on the big screen here at Mollington. Just once again, if you've enjoyed what you're watching today, please could you go to justgiving.com and search Mollington Races and donate what you can to keep helping fund the wonderful sport we all love.
Sorry, Mark. Yes.
Horses away, please.
Could we have some connections, please, for the presentation for the last race? Can we have the connections for the presentation, please?
This is a call for Mr. Stevenson. You've yet to collect your medical card. Please don't go home without it. You probably, hopefully, need it next weekend. Mr. Stevenson, don't forget your medical card.
The presentation for the 6-year-old and over maiden that concluded the card, and we're very pleased to have David and Kirsty
The result is
Lodder
now
here
official.
to make the
Wade
presentation.
in.
And they will do that to the winning owners, the Oak Partnership. The Oak Partnership, please. Sorry, Helen and Chris to collect the winning owners' trophies. Congratulations, guys. And a bottle of Fox Denton gin to the winning trainer, double on the day, David Kemp. And the winning rider, Luke Scott. Quick interview, yeah.
Congratulations anyway. Thank you very much indeed.
Luke, winning our last race there, Ballinagur, that's a sort of spare you want to pick up, isn't it?
Yeah, David rang me in the middle of the week and said that Dale had put me forward for the ride, and I had a quick look at his form and I thought he'd have a right chance, so yeah, chuffed to get on him.
I mean, he's a 7-year-old, but by Milan, I said they often take time to come to, and he looks like he could be a horse that could just progress from here.
Yeah, David said he'd progressed from last year, and he would have run him before he got a knock to the shin or something, but he's a little strong bullock of a thing, and I think he'll actually improve on that again.
And moving forward, you'd imagine he'll find a restrictor before the end of the season?
Yeah, he should pick up one of them pretty easily on that performance.
And your horse in the maiden, the Tom Westons, ran okay, finished 4th. Again, with a bit of progression, you'd imagine he might find a maiden before the end of the year?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Tom wants to do with him now. He might just sell him, but he should, if on that performance, he should pick up another maiden, but it's, yeah, I'd say he'd probably sell him.
And we were discussing the unfortunate Amazemore the other day on the Doyen, whose name escapes me, that victory was snatched from your grasp with a slipping saddle.
Yeah, these things happen, but at least he showed how his potential.
And are we going to see him somewhere under rules now?
Yeah, Dan's bought him. Dan Skelton has bought him. He came and picked him up in the week, but yeah, Dan's got a lot of our horses and he's a big supporter of us. So
fantastic. Well done today, and good luck moving forward with the rest of the season.
Thanks,
Luke Scott, cheers.
Thanks, Charlie.
Sam. Really good card then today at Mollington, and considering the not substantial entries, we've actually had some really competitive racing, and just before we sit back and watch the Grand National at 5:15, we just thought we would review the day, Sam, before we switch attentions to Aintree. And we kicked off with a 2.5 mile conditions race and was won impressively by Fear Jaguar.
Yeah, well, as a horse that's probably going to go on, to bigger and better things after today. He was really nice. Obviously not quite right last time, but put it immense today, and he did it nicely.
And we discussing it with Dale, not Dale, with Bradley Gibbs. He was really positive about this horse. I thought he thinks an awful lot of him. And talking to David Kemp about how to get away as well, it seemed that really that 2.5 mile is short of his best trip, as you did allude to afterwards, and that there'll be better days ahead for him.
Yeah, there will, yeah. So you've got to stand up when Bradley says that, good things about his horse. He's got some nice horses in his yard, and hopefully he can go on to progress.
Cool. Second race of the day, by order of the court, impressive winner of the maiden.
Yeah, he was, yeah. He's nice horse. Dale obviously thinks a lot of him as well, and, hopefully he can do well at the sales for, British Pointer. And go on and do some good things on the rules.
I mean, I think he's a pretty live prospect. I'll be very interested to see where he ends up. Ahead of the game, a poignant winner for the For the Exors of Lake, Jason Warner, and again another pointer that's one to keep on side for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, exactly. He jumped better. Another win for James King and the family, and hopefully, looking forward to tomorrow and Ovesford to have a good day for Jason tomorrow.
We're just winding this up slightly quicker than planned. Tony Ellis has popped his head in the door. He must have a strong interest in the Grand National because he said that we've got to press on, Sam.
He probably owns one.
A match race for the Hatton Arms Mixed Open, and Carito de Bros, the classy performer on the day.
Yeah, great to see him. As I said before, a horse I love to watch point to pointing. He's just the stride on him, I think, and the way he gets into a rhythm out in front is fantastic. So yeah, great horse, and I look forward to seeing him at Cheltenham.
Yeah, mixed the open final, I think, at the Hunter Chase evening, and yeah, I mean he could just be one of the very best pointers in training, is my feeling about it. It sounds like he's fragile, and the Kemp team have to work quite hard to keep him on the straight and narrow, but when we see him, there's no getting away from the fact that he's got a huge amount of ability.
Yeah, no, he's a cracking horse, he really is, yeah.
And Dundrum Wood as well, lost nothing in defeat, and there'll be other days for him moving forward. The Restricted probably had the most impressive performance of the day, and every minute for the Ellis team, again, looks like one to keep on side, really.
Yeah, did it really well, as I said earlier. A real strapping, nice horse that's only going to, fit its frame even more in time. 6-year-old, but yeah, no, cracking horse is going to go up through the ranks.
And Hill the Mix and Who the Man, who again I think are horses that have a future in this job. I mean, he readily brushed them aside, and with his jumping and travelling ability, again, looks a horse that even moving forward into the next season could be an open class performer.
Yeah, and as you said, I wouldn't write off the other two horses. They were going to pick up Restrictors in time.
And then we close the day with a double for the David Kemp team, and another winning selection for you with Ballinagur. And I thought this was a really likeable performance. I mean, like I say, beating Wireless Operator, who does come with his quirks. He'd have a time form double squiggle for sure, but there's no getting away from the fact you can only beat what's in front of you, and he did it readily.
He did, yeah. Just Wireless Operator hanging around the final bend didn't help, but yeah, Ballinagur, he's going to improve for every run he has. I think that's probably in his 4th start, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly in this country, yeah.
But no, he's a really likeable type, and David Kemp's also in great form.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, it's been a really enjoyable day. A highlight from you?
Highlight, pretty boring for me, but the match watching Carito de Bros, he don't do his thing is lovely to watch.
I think Fears Jaguar for me, and by order of the court, I'll be very interested to see how he sells at the end of the month at the Tats Cheltenham sale, because he could just make up into a decent rules performer. Again, if you've been watching at home and you've enjoyed everything, please go to the Just Giving page and search Mollington races and donate what you can for the future of the sport. We, Sam, are now off duty. We can go and have a beer and kick back. Selection in the National?
Longhouse Poet. Snow Leopard S. We'd love to see, wouldn't we?
That'd be good, yeah. I mean, Longhouse Poet for me, and I think that's the one, yeah. So thank you very much, and a brilliant day's racing, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.